are about ready to go here at Civic Stadium in Portland with this Oregon State Class AA championship football game. Back deep to receive for the Eagles is Shane Losey and Mike Harp, and there's the kick. It'll come down at about the 15-yard line. 25-yard line down the 31. It's Mike Harp, and that's where the Eagles are going to take over. First down and 10, Cal.
Well, it's a good start to the game, Mark. It's pretty cold out there.
It is a very cold day here at Portland Civic Stadium. The quarterback for the Eagles coming on is Kerry McGonigal. Joe Josephson is the single back. Shane Losey and Mike Harp and Mike Mahern are the receivers. Losey mainly a wing back. The tight end, Guy Rowan. Full offensive line is known as the big dogs around Hood River. That is Pete Hughes, Chad Holloway, Les Perkins, Chris Girton, and Darren Routson left to right. First down and 10 here for the Hood River Valley Eagles. Kerry McGonigal behind center, a single receiver to the far side. McGonigal drops back. First play of the game. Has good protection. He's going to throw. It's going to be caught. Mike Mahern, 50-yard line. Got some room. Brought down inside the 45-yard line. But there's a flag back downfield, Cal.
Well, it's a hard way to start. Having a flag down this early, Mark.
The Eagles are walking back, and it looks like it's going to be a penalty.
Oh, that could really hurt. This could be a hard one.
McGonigal had plenty of time to throw, and it might have been down at the bottom of our screen. It appeared that it was Chad Holloway holding Jeff McCoy as McCoy was coming in on the rush for the St. Helens Lions. And that's what the call is, holding against the Eagles, so that's going to back them up a long ways here.
That's a real turnaround. That was a great completion to Mike Mahern, and now they're actually going backward.
So the Eagles, instead of having great field position in St. Helens territory, they are going to end up back 15 yards, back at the 15-yard line. First down and 25 yards to go now for the Eagles. We are just underway here at Portland Civic Stadium on a cold Saturday afternoon. The Oregon State Class AA Football Championship. The Hood River Valley Eagles, the champions of the Tri-Valley League, against the Kawapa League champion, St. Helens Lions. And defensively, their front five is John Holt, Aaron Susi, Jeff McCoy, Brent Zemer, and Ryan Dotto. We'll pick up the rest here in a moment. As first down, rather, and 25 yards to go. McGonigal with the single back, Mitch Sanders behind him. Mike Mahern, one of two receivers. Up top, the other one is Brian Irwin. McGonigal drops back, looking to throw. Kerry under pressure, down he goes. The pocket collapsed around Kerry McGonigal.
Back to about the 8-yard line, and they just ran out of time, Mark.
Jeff McCoy and Aaron Susi were the guys getting up from the top of Kerry McGonigal, as McGonigal may have gotten some dancing feet there a little bit, Cal, and floated into the line.
It was a real hard experience for him. It looked like he was able to almost get it off, but then it collapsed at the last minute.
The linebackers are Matt Newcomb and Mike Pence today. The corners, Jeff Merwin and Eric Olson for St. Helens. The safeties, Kelly Jeffrey and Ian McKay. Hood River was second down, a whole bunch to go here. 32 yards from the 8-yard line. McGonigal again dropping back. Eagles throwing every play so far. Kerry hanging it up deep, and he's got Ryan in to make that. Brian Irwin at the 45 loses the football. They rule it a fumble. It is picked up. Picked up and running with the football. It is going to be Eric Thorson, and Thorson brought down in Hood River territory, and the Eagles are upset, Cal.
Oh, Mark, it looked like the ball hit the ground. He hit the ground.
So the Lions will take over. As you'll see it again, McGonigal dropped back, and again, plenty of time from the big dogs, and hung it up, and he hit Brian Irwin perfectly in stride. Irwin was brought down on the play by Eric Olson. Olson didn't appear to do anything to strip the football, but they rule it a fumble. And coming up with it, Eric Thorson for St. Helens. And Kelly Jeffrey gets him started out of the veer option offense, split backs behind him. Jeffrey handoff. This is going to be Keith Pence, and Pence gets a 2 or 3 yards up to the 42-yard line, stopped by Mike Harp from out of the secondary. That Lion offense, Kelly Jeffrey, the 5'11 senior quarterback. Keith Pence and John Holt are the running backs. Eric Olson and Jeff Merwin, the wide receivers. Ryan Dotto, the tight end. We'll tell you that trio, there'll be a lot of rotation amongst them. The line, Brent Zemer, Rush Shaw, Aaron Stockwell, Jeff McCoy, and Aaron Susi left to right. It will be second down here for the St. Helens Lions, as Kelly Jeffrey under center has receivers to each side of him. And Jeffrey will turn and hand off right up the middle. No, it's an option play, and it's pitched out. Goes Pence, and Pence knocked out of bounds quickly. Chris Girton, Larry Foster, and Mike Harp over there for the Eagles.
Well, I don't know how you pick all those guys.
That's right. That was, in that case, Keith Pence going to the outside this time rather than looking to get those tough yards inside. We'll get that Eagle defense for you in a moment, but here's third down coming up, a big situation for him as they are in their 3-4 defense. Those linebackers backing up a little bit, expecting a pass here. But Jeffrey instead will go right in the middle. Pence fumbles the football loose on the turf, and Rudolfo Nuno has it for the Eagles.
Oh, what a turnover.
Pence, it didn't appear was stripped of the ball, just simply lost the handle in the cold temperatures, and already one turnover apiece for each football team.
Well, it is cold down there, Mark. It's in the 30s, and you could...
And you know, I think who stripped it from Pence, it was Andy Beam, the outside linebacker, who may have made the hit that got it away, and Rodolfo Nuno comes up with a big recovery. So the unheralded linebackers of the Hood River Valley Eagles come up with a big play here in the first quarter. Single back behind McGonigal, and this time it's trips to the right, but this time they'll go to the top side. Joe Josephson. Joseph on the sweep, finds a little running room, and is down to the 37-yard line. Brought down on the play for St. Helens by Mike Pence, the brother of Keith Pence.
And some breaks already, Mark.
One turnover apiece early in this football game. No score from Portland Civic Stadium. The Hood River Valley Eagles and the St. Helens Lions. A good one, we expect. Glad you're with us here on this Oregon State Class AA championship football game.
We even had a great game right before this one, and we can tell you more about that when we have time.
Trips to the near side. Mike Mahern is the wingback. Mike Hart and Brian Irwin the other two. The pitch will go to Joseph. He'll run to that white side, get away, 40-yard line, 45, pick up a first down to the 47-yard line. Brought down by 4 Lions, amongst them Eric Olson.
Josephson is probably, Mark, the biggest running threat for Hood River.
Joseph, their leading ground gainer in the regular season. He'll do most of the chores. Mitch Sanders, the other one. As Joseph took that ball around the right sideline and picked up 10 yards on the play. Josephson has had some big afternoons with the Eagles, and his emergence as a running back has really unleashed the Eagle passing attack. First down and 10 for Hood River Valley. The ball at the 47-yard line of the St. Helens, or the Eagles rather, looking to get in the Lions territory. Joseph drops back. He'll go to Mitch Sanders on a little swing play, and Sanders has some room. Over the 50-yard line, down the 45, brought down to 43 near a first down, and the tackle is made, an excellent one-on-one tackle for the St. Helens Lions. It was Ryan Rittenauer, a linebacker who comes in a lot according to West Bingham on passing situations, and he'll get plenty of opportunities here today.
Here on the replay, it's real clear that it's been hard to bring down, but the pursuit finally caught up.
Just short of a first down, 2nd and 1, as the Eagles come up to the line of scrimmage. The ball is a little short of the Lion 43-yard line. Eagles, though, not coming out in a tight formation. They'll have the single setback offset behind the tackle. That's Mitch Sanders. McGonigal's going to drop back, look to throw out to Mike Harp. Harp was looking to throw, but a great one-on-one play in the backfield. It was Kelly Jeffrey, the safety.
What a great play. Of course, Kelly Jeffrey goes both ways on this team, playing quarterback and back.
So Harp loses on the play 10 yards. It's going to be now 3rd down and 11 yards to go for the Hood River Valley Eagles. So a big play by Jeffrey. They mark it officially at the 46-yard line of Hood River. And McGonigal now needing a big play to get back into position for a first down. McGonigal takes his time looking over the defense, now under center. Carey drops back. He'll hand off on the drop play. Josephson, little bit of a hole, gets by one man, then is stuffed up immediately for very little gain. And coming up on the play again, Ryan Rittenauer is having an outstanding early portion of this football game.
Looks like the Lions defense is really charged up here. They're really trying to get the fellas right there at the line. Great tackle by number 31.
He stops Josephson right in his tracks. So the Eagles will now have to punt on 4th down, and Kerry McGonigal, who had trouble last week in the mud in Tillamook, will be the punter in this situation. And back deep for the St. Helens Lions, it will be Eric Thornson. High snap, and McGonigal comes down with it, and Kerry gets it away. Decent kick this time. It will bounce down to Thornton around the 13-yard line. Thornton will go to the far side of the field. 15, turn the corner, 20, got some room, 30-yard line. Over the 40, knocked out of bounds by McGonigal at the 43-yard line. A great return of 30 yards for Thornton.
Great return, Mark. It really opened up over there on the far side, and without Kerry's tackle, that could have been a touchdown.
That very well could have been. So Thornton does a good job after McGonigal had hit the good punt. Thornton read his blockers very well, went to the right, and one of the rules of punting returning was broken there, really, by Thornton. Usually he's supposed to run straight up the field, not look for that lateral movement, but this time it paid off for the St. Helens punt returning. Officially at the 44-yard line, the Lions first down and 10. Kelly Jeffrey is going to turn, hand up the middle. Keith Pence, big hole, 40-yard line, 35. He's out in front of the defense, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, St. Helens, they're on top.
Oh, what a breakaway, Mark.
What a job by the Lion offensive line as well to get Keith Pence the hole. And he flew out and got by the secondary and goes all the way in for the touchdown, 56 yards. A great play for the St. Helens Lions. And they take the lead 6-0, awaiting Kelly Jeffrey's extra point.
it looked just like a dive play, Mark, and they just broke loose completely. 65 yards for the touchdown.
Jeffrey upcoming with the extra point here. We have 5:43 to go in the first quarter of football. 6-0. St. Helens breaks out on top after the Eagles had moved the football well. The turnovers and penalties have hurt them so far here today. Placement, kick on the way, and it is going to be good. So Kelly Jeffrey with the extra point. 5:43 to go in the first quarter. Count it's 7-0. The St. Helens Lions leading the #1 ranked Hood River Valley Eagles.
You know, Mark, we haven't talked about the fellas out there on the field that play both sides of the ball. I think Jeffries is probably a good example of one of the players that can play offense and be a star, and play defense and be a star, and even kick.
He made a big defensive play to help set up that touchdown run by Pence of 56 yards on one-play drive. By the way, our officials today, we haven't mentioned them yet, from the Portland Association. The referee is Jim Buchanan. The umpire is Hank Sidoris. The linesman is Gary Spells. And the line judge, Denny Barstad. And the Civic Stadium scoreboard tells the story, doesn't it? With 5:43 to go in the first quarter.
Looks like a good crowd turned out here, Mark. We had projections of getting up around 8,000.
Expecting 8,000. Not sure that we got to that point here today. And we await the kickoff for the St. Helens Lions. Chris Wakeland does the kickoff chores for the St. Helens Lions, and he is awaiting the opportunity to do so. Waits the signal from official Jim Buchanan, the referee here today. He now receives the football, and he'll tee it up at the 40-yard line. This crowd very excited down below us here in Civic Stadium. A lot of folks from both St. Helens and Hood River. In fact, Hood River, Glenn Elliott, the athletic director, said they were expecting 3,000 people to come from Hood River, and St. Helens was expecting a light number.
So we'd expect to get at least 6,000 people to show up for the game, even if there were no people that walked in.
Rolling kick down the middle. On the return to the 25-yard line, Shane Losey gets through a hole down to the 35-yard line. That's where the Hood River Valley Eagles will do business here in the first quarter, down 7-0. 5.5 minutes left to go in this football game. Losey did a good job with a rolling football.
He certainly did in picking it up. And especially down on the field, Mark, it's probably in the mid-30s, and there's a slight breeze. For those of you watching on video, hopefully you could tell if that was a fumble or not. From our vantage point up here, it looked like the ground may have caused it, so it's hard to tell.
Harp and Losey far side. McGonigal drops back looking to throw. He's got Mike Mahurin over the middle at the 45-yard line. First down into St. Helens territory. Brought down on the play by Eric Olson, and again, Mahurin got open on that pattern.
A real quick break and opening. Very good catch. It puts them on about the 45-yard line.
Knows the football just over the 45-yard line. That is a pickup of 19 yards for McGonigal and company. Terry brings him up out of the huddle. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Pence's 55-yard run made it 7-0 St. Helens. Joe Josephson, the single back. As the trips go to the left side this time, McGonigal going to turn, fake the handoff, look right, Maven busted play, now steps up, he will throw deep for Mahurin, got him open, but overshoots him by a step or two. Coming over on the coverage quickly, it was Eric Olson, the defensive halfback, and Mahurin for a moment there had to step, but McGonigal had to step up a little bit to avoid some pressure.
Olson played that extremely well and managed to get right in the way, so there was no way that the ball could be caught. It does look like the Eagles intend to use their passing game, Mark.
Yes, they're going to do it. They have done it all year long. McGonigal for over 2,000 yards. He's only thrown 4 interceptions, 2 of those last week in the mud in Tillamook on a day when he did not particularly feel well, coming off the effects of a flu bug. Mike Mahurin near side, far side, Shane Losey and Mike Harp on 2nd down and 10. McGonigal drops back, looking right for Mike Mahurin. Mahurin turned, and the ball's over his head, incomplete. Mahurin was running a pattern where he turned about 5 yards in front of Olson at the 30-yard line, but the pass over the head of Mahurin, it's going to be 3rd down and 10. This is easily the coldest day of the year, Cal, for an Eagle football game, without a question. Last week, of course, it was the mud that was the factor, and this week, it's the cold temperatures.
Well, it sure is crisp out there. We're guessing in the mid-30s, and a bit of an east wind, even though right now the flag looks like it's hanging kind of limp, so there's probably not much wind down on the field right at this point.
3rd and 10, Brian Irwin near side, far side 2 receivers. McGonigal drops back, under pressure, pocket collapses, he's sacked at the 48-yard line. The man on top of him is Ryan Dotto, the defensive end. Also in there on the play, it was Dan Jacobus into the football game on the defensive line. The Eagles now face 4th down, and it will be 14 yards to go for a first down from the 49-yard line of St. Helens, and this would suspect to be a McGonigal punting situation. As Kerry there, you can see he had time, and then the pocket collapsed under him. As the line was really moving backwards, St. Helens starting to take control of the line of scrimmage.
And all of a sudden it just collapsed, and the result was the sack.
McGonigal does a good job with a high snap, gets the punt away. It's going to bounce at the 18-yard line, take a high hop, take it the 13-yard line, up the middle 20-yard line, brought down to 23. Eric Thorson on the return. A return of 10 after a punt of 36 yards for Kerry McGonigal. 3:48 to go in the first quarter. It is St. Helens 7, the Hood River Valley Eagles nothing. These teams have 3 common opponents this year, Tillamook, Caboose, and Gladstone. Hood River, obviously the unbeaten club, has won all 3 football games involved in those, but St. Helens lost to Caboose. In fact, the week before, Hood River beat Caboose. And it was in that exchange the Hood River became the #1 ranked team in the state. Lions, though, up here 7-0. Now the split back formation, handoff straight up the middle, and that's the big power back, John Holt. Holt picking up a couple 3 yards out near the 27-yard line.
Holt's nearing 1,000 yards this year, I believe, Mark.
That is correct. It is an interesting trio. Holt, Henson, Jeffrey. They basically carry the ball equally. They don't try to go to one man too much. And the pair of running backs, Henson, Holt, they have had trouble with injuries. It is second down and a little less than 8 yards to go. The ball at the 26-yard line. Jeffrey off the option. He'll pitch it back to Holt. Holt right side. Mike Mahern right there to hog tie him down at the 27-yard line. An excellent play by the cornerback for Hood River.
Great tackle by Mike Mahurin. And as we know, Holt seems to be the breakaway runner for St. Helens. He's the one that can break them really quickly. And he did get out there real quick on the right-hand side of the field. However, Mahurin was right there to make the tackle.
Ball placed just over the 27, so mark it officially at the 28. It is third down and 6 yards to go for the St. Helens Lions. They have receivers to each side. Tight end to the right, split back line, Kelly Jeffrey. Jeffrey, play action pass, flag down, throw complete. Holt stopped by Frazier, bounces off the tackle, fumbles the ball. It's loose, it's recovered by Chris Curtin for Hood River, but let's see what the flag is. If it's a St. Helens penalty, the Eagles have it deep in Lions territory. It was Chris Curtin coming up with after Ryan Frazier hit Holt. Holt bounced away, and the ball fell out of his hands.
Good recovery.
Jeffrey turned, had plenty of time after the play action, got the hold of Frazier's hip, and Holt, it looked like, was stripped as we watched the replay by Mitch Sanders, who had such a big playoff year. The penalty was on St. Helens and declined, so Hood River has it.
Good recovery by Chris Gerton. A great play on his part. He was alert and was right there when he was needed.
Mahurin will go to the far side. Mike Harp to the near side. Eagles have gotten into Lions territory twice already, but have not been able to capitalize. They've had a couple turnovers in this football game. In fact, each team now 2 turnovers, and we still have 2:18 to go in the first quarter. Single back behind McGonigal. Handoff Mitch Sanders straight up the middle. 30-yard line brought down to 28. Big gain for Mitch Sanders, the fullback who's gotten more and more playing time in the playoffs. A pickup of 8 for Sanders. Sanders has had an outstanding playoff season, especially at linebacker, where last week he just simply dominated Mark Rashawn of the Tillamook Cheesemakers. Second down, 2 yards to go. Clock down to 1:50 to go here in the first quarter. McGonigal bringing them up. Mahurin to the far side. Mike Harp to the near side. The single back now is Joe Josephson. The wing back is Shane Losey to the far side. McGonigal turned fake hand. Off play action. Got some time to throw. He's looking over the middle, and he is going to be picked off. Picked off by Eric Thorson. A tag is down. Might be interference. Thorson at the 8-yard line brought down. Let's see. Mike Mahurin was the intended receiver, but he was double covered. If it stands, that's the 5th interception of the year on McGonigal. But let us see. A flag down in the vicinity of where the ball was intercepted. The officials will huddle. Again, these are from the Portland Association. As on television, you see the play again. And Mahurin was falling down as the ball was coming. That's where the flag threw.
Yeah,
so let's see.
That must be what it is.
It is. Pass interference, St. Helens. The Eagles will keep the football. And it appears from the replay that was a good call.
It sure looked that way. Mahurin was off his feet long before the ball got there. We can at least make the guess from this point that that was where the interference occurred.
The flag was thrown actually quite a few yards away from where the interference occurred near the sideline. That was why the hesitation. However, it was thrown so quickly that you had to assume that it had been a pass interference call on St. Helens. So the Eagles will keep the football. And they are now have their deepest penetration of the football game. They are at the 14-yard line of St. Helens, 1st and 10. Lions on top, 7-0, 1:29 to go in the first quarter.
The Eagles are threatening.
Hart and Mahurin and Losey will form the trip to the left. Joe Josephson, the single back behind Kerry McGonigal. Guy Rowan, the tight end right. Lions have 5 defensive backs now in the football game. McGonigal fake handoff Joseph, turn low, show pass to Losey, 10-yard line, gets a block from Rowe at the 5, gets down near the 2-yard line. In fact, if he had cut back around Guy Rowan's block, he would have probably scored the touchdown. A pickup of 13, first and goal Eagles.
Some conservative running there.
McGonigal used that fake. They bid on it. Josephson on the fake and then a little shovel to Losey. And there you see it right there. He ran right over Guy Rowan. If he could have cut back to the outside, it looked like he had a chance to score. However, it's first and goal with 1 minute to go in the first quarter. 7-0 St. Helens. T formation here, full house. Chris Zorza, Mitch Sanders, and Shane Losey are the threesome. Handoff, Sanders, touchdown Eagles. And hold it, we're waiting for the call. We still wait. Now McGonigal says, yeah, it is. The official agrees, touchdown Eagles. It was easier to tell from upstairs that he was over the plane of the goal line probably than it was from downstairs.
It certainly was.
Mitch Sanders, a 2-yard run. 46 seconds to go, and it is a 7-6 game. And Jared Swires out of the hold of Mike Mahurin will try the extra point. Snap on the way, placement down, kick on the way, and it is good. And no good, he missed it wide to the left. 7-6, Eagles down 1 here with 46 seconds to go in the first quarter, but a big drive there, Cal, for Hood River.
An excellent drive by Hood River. Of course, we'll see what happens with the extra point, Mark. That could be a big point as we go along here.
Yes, it could. A little surprised that happened is Jared Swires had such a good day yesterday practicing here on this AstroTurf. In fact, he was just bubbling about the AstroTurf. He really likes kicking out here, as most kickers do, of course. They really get the ball up high, the tee as well. The tee doesn't get buried down the mud. Of course, last week at Tillman, he did a fine job, just hit the 2 extra points that he did in what was very sloppy conditions there, as well as St. Helens won in sloppy conditions when they beat Siuslaw 13-6 in their semifinal.
Mark, as you and I were comparing the kicking games of the two teams, apparently yesterday Swires was kicking them real well from 45 yards out. We noticed that the St. Helens kicker was kicking them from up to 35 yards out, maybe even 40 pretty well.
It wasn't Kelly Jeffrey doing that, but Troy Dozler. So if the Lions decide to try a field goal around 35 to 40 yards, you might want to look for him. It is Ian McKay back deep for the St. Helens Lions. He is joined also by John Holt. As Jared Swires will gather his Hood River Valley Eagles around him. They will tend to onside kick out of that formation. So the Lions will have to be worried about that most of the evening. As the 2 deep backs, McKay and Holt, await the kick. McKay to the top side, Holt to the right side. Swires awaiting the indication from the officials to continue the football game. Referee Jim Buchanan from down the 10-yard line tells Jared Swires to set his football team, and the Eagles will do so. 46 seconds to go in the first quarter. Already a lot of excitement. 7-6. Eagles down a point. Swires will put his foot to the ball, and it's going to be a short kick, middle of the field, take at the 25-yard line. Moving up on the ball, McKay comes to the near side 30-yard line, find a seam, but brought down short of the 35 as Mike Harp with a good tackle from behind McKay brought him down.
And a good tackle it was.
That'll be a pickup on the play of 9 yards at the 35-yard line. So first down and 10, St. Helens Lions, and Kelly Jeffrey comes out to lead the attack for the Lions. As you can see, McKay had a seam, but Mike Harp was able to grab him around the ankles and bring him down.
If Harp hadn't gotten him, it could have easily been a very long gainer.
2 receivers near side, split back behind Jeffrey. Of course, Hens and Holt back there. We'll see Ian McKay quite a bit today, too. Handoff up the middle, nothing there for John Holt. And it's the Eagle linebacking core, the insiders, Nuno and Sanders on the stop, and Jane Losey also offered some help.
Really good play on the inside by the Eagles.
That may be the last play of the quarter. We have 12 seconds to go and counting. No gain. It'll be second down and 10 when we return for the second quarter, unless the Lions can somehow get this play off in 3 seconds, and it doesn't appear they're going to. 2-1, 1 quarter of football. The state AA championship over. Lions 7, Eagles 6. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Mark Bailey along with Cal Kemper here this afternoon from Portland Civic Stadium. The lights are now on here at the stadium through 1 quarter. The Lions on top of the Hood River Valley Eagles by a score of 7-6. It'll be second down and 10 for the St. Helens Lions at their own 35-yard line. Now going from left to right on radio. Split backs will be behind Kelly Jeffrey. They are Keith Pence and John Holt. Dual receivers this time, also up top. The Eagles ship their defense over in kind. Handoff up the middle, nothing there once again. Andy Beam and Nuno make the stop as driving for any yardage that he can is Keith Pence, but there's nothing there. May have picked up a yard. It's going to be third down and long.
looked like there was a little difficulty on the handoff there, Mark, and the Eagles closed on the play real quickly and stopped it for no gain.
Mark it still at the 35-yard line. 3rd down and 10 for St. Helens here. 11:35 to go, second quarter. 7-6 the score. Dual receivers near side this time. Kelly Jeffrey, long count. Now he'll take the handoff, go on a drop back pass, going to go deep. It's into a crowd of folks, and a Lion came down with it. There's a flag down back at the 35. Coming down with a football in that crowd was Jeff Merwin down the 28-yard line of St. Helens, or Hood River rather, but hang on. Let's see what the flag's going to be all about.
It looked clearly like the wide receiver for St. Helens was offside on that play.
Kelly Jeffrey is watching, and it's going to be a legal motion. It is on the St. Helens Lions. Jeffrey, though, is not going to be able to throw up too many of those like that. The St. Helens receivers, though, did get in front of the Hood River players, and the ball put right where it had to be. But that was an awful big crowd to be thrown into.
It certainly was. They were lucky to complete the pass, but it worked, and they're moved down the field really well. Unfortunately, the flag is going to bring it all back now.
So that'll be a 5-yard penalty, and it will be 3rd down and 15 coming up for the Lions. Actually, it's more than a 5-yard penalty. It's a lot like the penalty the Eagles had in the first play from scrimmage when they hit Mike Mahurin deep into St. Helens territory. But it got called back by the holding penalty, and eventually the turnover occurred.
Nearly a 40-yard difference here in the turnaround on this. Be back on the 30-yard line, 15 yards to go, and it will be 3rd down.
And we now have a light rain falling here. So the weather predictions of rain holding off until the close of this football game proved to be unrealistic. Split back receivers to the near side for the St. Helens Lions. Jeffrey turn, fake handoff, run the option. Going to pitch it to Pence. Pence around the 35-yard line. 38 knocked off his feet there. A good play by Ryan Frazier to knock him down short of a first down. It's going to be 4th down and 5 yards to go at the 40-yard line. The Lions will have to punt. Lions decide to go their bread and butter, the veer option there. And Pence had a good gain. However, the Eagles back deep on defense were ready in the secondary to knock him down. Back deep to punt, it's Eric Olson. 2 men back for the Eagles. Losey and Hart, I believe they have Losey and Frazier. And it's a punt to the right side. I'll bounce to the 25-yard line, take a Lion bounce inside the 20. Frazier's going to get away from it and down at the 15-yard line. So an excellent kick for Olson. It is a punt of 45 yards, and the Eagles start backed up. 10:23 to go here in the second quarter. It is 7-6. The St. Helens Lions on top of the Hood River Valley Eagles as Kerry McGonigal prepares to lead out the Eagles on offense. The Eagles have moved the football well, Cal, but they've hurt themselves with some turnovers and penalties.
They certainly have, and that was a beautiful kick by St. Helens. They kicked away from the Hood River receivers, and as you said, Mark, a 45-yard punt here on the AstroTurf.
Trips to the right side. Mahurin, Harp, and Losey. Joe Josephson, the single back. Gyro on the tight end. Lions, they call the 5-2 defense. Backs it to 3-4. Handoff up the middle. Now bouncing off a tackle. Josephson. He'll be brought down around the 17-yard line. On the play for St. Helens, it was John Holt and Matt Newcomb. And Newcomb is a good one. All-Kawapa League linebacker as a sophomore.
He smelled that out real well, Mark, and he brought Josephson down with only about a yard and a half gain.
They're going to mark it just over the 16-yard line. 2nd down, a short 9 to go for the Eagles here. As bringing the football up to the line of scrimmage in front of him, it's Les Perkins over center. Kerry McGonigal, the quarterback. Brian Irwin to the near side. Mike Mahurin at the wing this time. Mike Harp up top, the other receiver. Handoff up the middle. Joseph, final little room, left side, 20-yard line, cut back. Knocked off his feet at the 24-yard line. On the stop, it was for the St. Helens Lions, Jeff Merwin, who just simply rolled him over his back and brought Josephson to the turf.
Josephson did a great job of holding onto the ball there and preventing a fumble. A somersaulting tackle.
If Josephson was a gymnast, I believe he'd get about a 9.95 on that one.
A 9.95. He landed it, too.
3rd down. It is a long one. The ball is just short of the 24-yard line. The Eagles have to get just over the 25. They're in their own territory with 8:53 to go in the second quarter. Down at .76 in the I formation this time. Mitch Sanders, the fullback. The tailback is Joe Josephson. Mike Harp goes in motion to the far side. Double tight ends here for the Eagles, and we're going to have a flag, and I think someone moved. It's going to be a delay of game, rather, on the Eagles. I thought maybe I detected some movement on the line, but instead, McGonigal took too much time getting the play off, so now instead of 3rd and a short yard to go, it's going to be 3rd down and a big 5 to go.
A big turnaround there, Mark. 6 yards versus 1 yard. That's going to be a lot tougher to pick up for the Eagles. 8:43
to go second quarter, 7-6. St. Helens on top of Hood River. Back to the one, back go the Eagles. Mahern and Losi to the far side. Mike Hart to the near side. The single back Josephs and the tight end Guy Rowan is to the far side. McGonigal drops looking to throw. Got plenty of time. Looks, goes over the head of Mike Mahern by a good 10 yards. And Mahern may have broke the pattern wrong. McGonigal standing with his hands on his hips looking a little disgusted. But Carey's had some trouble in the playoffs other than the Central game.
Absolutely, Mark. And it looks like the Eagles are in a position now where they're going to have to punt. And they're on the 19-yard line or close to it. I'd say we're still a long 18-yard line.
Eric Thorson will stand just on the St. Helens side of midfield. Good snap back to Carey McGonigal and shanks the punt. That ball is going to end up out of bounds around the 30-yard line. So a very short punt. The officials still moving, and they're going to mark it at the 28-yard line. So only a 9-yard punt for Carey McGonigal. The St. Helens Lions get a huge break here. With 8:29 to go in the second quarter, it is 7-6. The St. Helens Lions on top of the Hood River Valley Eagles, Cal. And now the Lions can add to that lead.
Carey McGonigal's had some trouble punting in the playoffs, Mark.
Yes, he has. Now, last week, a lot of it could be attributed to that mud in Tillamook. He was having a lot of trouble with the footing. But that punt, just absolutely horrible. And he was having trouble yesterday in practice. A 9-yard kick. Fumble on the exchange on the snap, but Jeffrey, I think, was able to dive back and get it back. A flag down the far side. And the center may have snapped it before Jeffrey was ready to go.
Good move by Jeffrey to get on the ball. He seemed to be really responsive to what happened there and was alert.
It's going to be an equipment penalty on St. Helens. So someone may have had his face guard, or rather his mouth guard, not in the mouth. So that's going to back them up 5 yards. It'll be first down and 15 from the 33-yard line of the Hood River Valley Eagles. Eagles football and KIHR brought to you by Down Manor, independent carefree living for seniors. Call 386-5115. And by McIsaac Store in Parkdale, your select market and complete hardware store. First down and 15 coming for the St. Helens Lions with 8:18 to go in the second quarter. Mark Bailey along with Cal Kemper today from Portland Civic Stadium. Dual receivers up top. Chris Willoughby is the flanker to the far side. Jeffrey will turn on the option. He's going to pitch back. This is going to be John Holt. 35-yard line, 30 room left side, 25-20. He'll get the first down. Knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line by Mike Hart, but a pickup of 16 for the Lions. First down.
The Lions are rolling, Mark. They're just moving right down the field and confidently moving down the field.
Outstanding run on the option here. Jeffrey pitching at the proper time, and some of the Eagle defenders, as there was a great block by Keith Pence to spring Holt there on one of the outside linebackers. First down and 10. Lions up 1 and deep in Eagle territory. Set up on the shank punt by McGonigal. Double tight ends, and this time they'll go out of the wishbone. The turn handoff goes to Pence. First man through. He stopped the 15-yard line. Standing him right up and driving him back, it was for the Eagles, Rodolfo Nuno, the linebacker. Second down and 8 yards to go. Clock running, 7:47 to go in the second.
Mark, both teams seem to be living up to their billing. The Lions are using their running game, and they're moving down the field really comfortably at the moment. They seem to be in control.
Wishbone once again. McCain Holt the halfback, Pence the fullback. Turn handoff once again to Pence, and he is wrapped up by Chris Girton, who then loses him, but Shane Losi finishes him off in that pile as Pence drives for a couple or 3 more yards up around the 12-yard line. It's going to be a third down and about 5 situation for the Lions. And Cal, what do you look for here?
Well, at this point, Mark, in the game, it's looking more and more like the Lions are going to use their running game every chance they get. And, of course, being an option team, they can run that at any point. What does it look like to you?
I would think we're going to see a triple option of some sort out of the wishbone. 3rd and 6, they mark at the 13-yard line. Jeffrey on the option is wrapped up by Sanders, and he won't get away. And a big play again by the junior linebacker for Hood River. Mitch Sanders continues his playoff terror roll for Hood River Valley. A loss on the play of 4 yards back to the 17. It's going to be 4th down and a little more than 10, and that should send on the field goal unit for St. Helens. And we will see, kicking the ball, Troy Dosler from this distance.
Mitch Sanders apparently expected the same kind of option play that Mark and I did, and was right on top of the quarterback.
This will be an attempt of 35 yards from the far side hash mark. So the 5'9 senior placement kicked down on the way. It looks like it's going to be short, and it is going to be short by a few yards. Real surprising as Dosler kicked well in warm-ups. 6:10 to go, second quarter. It's St. Helens 7, Eagles 6. We will be back in 30 seconds on this state Class AA championship game. Handoff up the middle of Joe Josephson on first down. Drags a couple of tacklers out near the 25-yard line. The Eagles take over after the missed field goal by Dozler. 6 minutes to go here in the first half of action. It is 7-6 St. Helens in the first quarter. Immediately after a turnover, Keith Pence went 55 yards for a touchdown. Eagles on a drive again after a turnover. It was Mitch Sanders going over from 2 yards out. You are caught up in this one. Both teams have had chances to score and have not capitalized at times. We are at 2 turnovers apiece, so this is a mistake-played football game. Also, a lot of penalties early. Single back behind McGonigal on 2nd down and 6 yards to go. McGonigal drops back to throw, looking over the middle. He's got Mike Mahern wide open at the 50-yard line. Mahern cut back at the 45, can't get away, brought down near the 40. And again, it is McGonigal to Mahern on the big play.
Beautiful pass from Kerry McGonigal to Mike Mahurin down to the 40-yard line of St. Helens.
That's a pickup of 36 yards. First down and 10 for the Hood River Valley Eagles. McGonigal had good time to throw from the big dogs, but he had trouble with the blitz. But then Mike Mahern made the catch over the middle and brought down the saving tackle by Jeff Merwin. Eagles driving here, trying to take the lead. They're down 1 by a score of 7-6. Mike Harp near side. 2 receivers far side. Mahern the split end. Losey in the slot near the line. Joe Josephson single back, adjusts a little bit. The tight end guy rolling to the left side. McGonigal turned and slipping on the quick hitter. It was Shane Losey, and that was a simple case there of sliding on some wet AstroTurf as that light rain, which actually has stopped now, has affected the surface here at Civic Stadium.
McGonigal looked like he was optioning there at the line, and unfortunately for the Eagles, Losey slipped right as he took off.
Mitch Sanders brings in the play to the Hood River huddle as they come up on 2nd down and 10 at the St. Helens 40-yard line. 5:03 to go first half. Sanders, the single back behind McGonigal. Mahern to the near side. To the far side is Shane Losey and Mike Hart. McGonigal drop quick hitter to Mike Mahern. 35-yard line. Continues to drive. May get near a first down. Stopped on the play by Jeff Merwin, and coming over to help it was Matt Newcomb, the linebacker. This is going to be close to a first down, depending on where they spot the football. Now from the spot, it's not going to make it. Mahern on the simple little hitch pattern made the catch, and he was brought down inside the 31-yard line, and that's going to be just short. 3rd down and less than a yard to go here for the Eagles, but they'll still run out the single back. Mike Hart to the near side. To the far side, Mahern and Losey. Joe Josephson is the single back. Handoff up the middle. Josephson, big hole. He'll pick up the first down, a little more. Out over the 25-yard line to the 24. A gain of 6. And the Eagles, with their first good sustained drive here, Cal, the football game.
The Eagles' offensive line is starting to dominate St. Helens' defense. That was a beautiful hole, Mark.
It is the big dogs right now that might just be taking control for Hood River Valley. Mitch Sanders, the single back, as McGonigal brings him up to the line. Mike Harp and Shane Losey to the far side. Mike Mahern, who's had a big game so far for the Eagles, to the near side. McGonigal, 3-step drop, now drop a little more. Pump fake once, he's going to go deep to the corner of the end zone for Mike Mahern, and he is knocked away on an excellent defensive play by Jeff Merwin.
Merwin saved a touchdown, Mark. It was a beautiful pass from Mahurin.
Merwin had a bit of position, the 6-foot senior, but that is a play the Eagles like to run a lot. Just run somebody in the corner and let McGonigal lob it over there. And Mahern and Harp, with their outstanding leaping abilities, toss in Harp's height, and you have a very dangerous combination.
Mahurin had to turn around to try to pick the ball up and did so, but Merwin was able to knock it down, Mark.
2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. That's Mike Harp. McGonigal's going to roll, look the throw, under pressure, throws for Mike Mahern. A leaping grab at the 15-yard line, drive the tackler near the 10. Oh, Mike Mahern just made a terrific catch.
What a terrific catch. Beautiful job of getting the ball there by McGonigal, leaping high in the air.
They will spot it down at the 17, at the 12, a 17-yard pickup. And McGonigal was hit as he threw, but Mike Mahern went upstairs for it. He's brought down by Ian McKay. The Hood River Valley Eagles, after a timeout, come up to the football. 2:30 to go in the first half. St. Helens on top, 7-6. It is a 3rd down and 4 situation. The ball on the 7-yard line for the Eagles. They will have Mike Mahern and Shane Losey to the near side. To the far side, Mike Hart. Mitch Sanders is the single back. McGonigal looks to throw. He's looking left under a bit of pressure. Now he will throw short of Mike Mahern. And the coverage on the play was by Ian McKay in the secondary. Also around there, Jeff Merwin. So a big 4th down situation here, and Jared Swires is going to come on to try to put the Eagles on top with 2:24 to go in the second quarter. The Eagles had not kicked a field goal until the postseason when Swires came up from the junior varsity squad and hit that dramatic 38-yard field goal with no time left to lift the Eagles to a 10-7 victory over Burns. Mahern will do the holding. It is straight away a 23-yard attempt. Good snap, placement down, kick on the way, and it is good, and the Eagles are on top. Jared Swires with a 23-yard field goal gives the Hood River Valley Eagles a 9-7 lead with 2:19 to go here in the second quarter, and a good drive for the Eagles, even though it's stalled.
Seems like, Mark, as we watch the drive progress, that the Eagles' offensive line was able to take over and able to move back St. Helens, and that gave McGonigal a little bit more room to pass. However, down right near the goal line, when the pass went down to Mahurin, he had to throw it short.
So the River Valley Eagles, after giving up the early touchdown to Pence, have come back to take the lead at 9-7. A reminder once again that Eagles playoff football on AM 1340 is brought to you by Don Hotspur Insurance, your good neighbor State Farm agent since 1965, and by Les Schwab Tire Center on West Cascade Street for tires, batteries, shocks, front-end alignment, and sudden service. We'd like to welcome more than our regular KIHR listening audience here on this Saturday afternoon. We also have with us today, it is KCGB FM on the air to broadcasting into a little wider territory, and we are on television on a delayed basis on Falcon Cable in Hood River and a cable system in St. Helens. So welcome to everybody watching the football game a couple days later. We have a good one here. 2:19 to go in the second quarter. It is the Eagles on top of St. Helens 9-7 as Jared Swires readies his Eagles behind him, awaiting the signal from Jim Buchanan to break the huddle or keep it and maybe try an onside kick. The Eagles have done it in some odd situations this year. And they have worked in odd situations, we should add. But this time they're going to spread them out. 2 receivers deep. To the far side, it is John Holt. And around the 15-yard line also, it is Ian McKay. Swires puts his foot to the ball, and it is again a short kick taken by an up man at the 30-yard line, looking for room at the 35 and brought down right there. The return man was Sean Welch. On the coverage for the Eagles, it was Guy Rowan making the tackle. So St. Helens, with 2:14 to go, has 3 timeouts remaining, down 9-7 to try to make something happen before halftime.
Swires apparently tried to squib the ball down the field, and he got it down to, I think, the 30-yard line where it was picked up, and a real short return. And now we have St. Helens on the 35-yard line, 1st down and 10 to go.
Split back behind Kelly Jeffrey. He'll roll. He will throw, but beyond his receiver, Jeff Merwin, incomplete. Mike Mahern on the coverage. The Lions have not thrown much this year. In fact, for Jeffrey, only 800 yards passing in the 12 games coming into tonight. But he has a good reputation as a passer. Wes Bigham says that he is a very good passer. He just doesn't get that many opportunities. Right there, he was a bit off on his man, Jeff Merwin, on the down and out. 2nd down and 10, 2:01 to go here in the second quarter. Split backs behind Kelly Jeffrey once again. Receivers each side. The tight end is Ryan Dotto. He is to the near side. The handoff on the reverse goes to him. Slips a tackler, 35-yard line, 40, 45, pick up the 1st down, knocked out of bounds far side near the 50-yard line. And so Ryan Dotto on the little gadget play for the St. Helens Lions picks up a good gain, a 1st down near midfield.
Mark, according to the statistics we have, the quarterback for St. Helens, Jeffrey, has run for over 600 yards and thrown for over 800 yards this season.
The ball at the 49-yard line of St. Helens. 1:54 to go here in the second quarter. 9-7. Eagles on top after Swires' field goal a moment ago. Jeffrey is going to run the option to the near side. Jeffrey over the 45-yard line, still has a 40-yard line, hit by Mahern, spins away, and finally driven out of bounds by a quartet of Eagles down around the 35-yard line. So the Lions are moving here, and don't forget they've got all 3 timeouts with 1:47 to go here in the second quarter. It was Nuno, Harp, Sanders, and Vaught amongst the tacklers for the Eagles as Jeffrey off the veer picks up 17 yards and another Lion 1st down.
It's still cold out there on the field, Mark. The wind, though, is not a factor at this point, and it does look like the drizzle that we had here a few minutes back has kind of ceased. So at this point in time, there's really nothing going on the field as far as the environment except just the the temperature. It is cold out there.
A good crowd on hand here at Portland Civic Stadium, bundled up for this one. Dual receivers this time to the far side for the Lions. It is Pence and Holt, the split backs. Jeffrey on the pitch, goes to Holt off the left side, knocked down at the 29-yard line. He and Mike Hart hit head on, and Hart may have taken the worst of that collision, but he gets up okay. A pickup of 5 for Holt. It's going to be second down and 5 yards to go with 1:30 to go here in the second quarter, and the Lions do not opt to use a timeout. They do have all 3 remaining. Down to 9-7, looking to at least set up a field goal attempt that would give them the lead going to the locker room.
Well, they're certainly approaching field goal range for their kicker. And as we said, up to 40 yards is what we saw him kick earlier.
Dual receivers near side, handoff straight up the middle, and not much there up to the 26-yard line for Keith Pence. He'll be short of the first down by a couple. Up last on the pile is Mike Harp, also Larry Foster for the Eagles. And the Lions will use a timeout here with 1:01 to go in the second quarter, and it is 9-7. The Hood River Valley Eagles leading the St. Helens Lions, number 1 against number 3 in the Class AA State Championship on this Saturday afternoon in Portland. And just as you spoke about the drizzle, well, I do believe as I look through our window, it's coming down again, Cal.
It could make a difference, Mark, if that turf down there gets slippery. We saw already Alosi had one slip that really would cost us a completion if the Hood River folks are looking for that sort of thing. I do hope that as we go along that the rain doesn't really cause so many incompletions and that sort of thing that it influences the game. It's looking at this point in time like the coldness out there might really make more of a difference than the water.
The mistakes have seemed to be cut down in the second quarter. After the first quarter, each team had 2 turnovers and some penalties, and both coaches really looked like maybe they were a little bit jittery going to the State AA Championship, as you would expect, but they hung on to the jitters for a while. But now the game seems to have settled down a little bit. Eagles on top 9-7 as the Lions come back up to the football with 1:01 to go in the second quarter. Third down, it is a short 3. The ball at the 27-yard line. They have to get up to the 24. Split back behind Kelly Jeffrey, the quarterback. Still Pence and Holt. Handoff fake. Jeffrey keeps it on the option. He'll pick up the first down to the 20-yard line. Brought down inside the 20. Ryan Frazier on the final stop. Mitch Sanders had knocked him down. But under a minute to go, and the Lions have a first down after the pickup of 8 yards by Kelly Jeffrey to the 18-yard line. Jeffrey brings him up. 52 seconds. Clock restart after moving the chains. Dual receivers to the near side. Footbacks are Pence and Holt behind Kelly Jeffrey. The tight end to the far side. Jeffrey calls signals, turn, handoff, fake, up the middle. Jeffrey keeps himself knocked down by one man and then finally swarmed under. He was slowed down by John Vaught, then Mitch Sanders, Larry Foster, and Les Perkins all came to finish him off, and the Lions use a timeout after Jeffrey loses 2 to the 20-yard line. Second down and 12. We have 34 seconds to go here in the first half.
With 34 seconds left, Mark, if the Eagles can hold, they may be able to force here a field goal.
The Lions have attempted one so far here, Troy Dozler, but he missed that field goal attempt back earlier here in the second quarter. Squires 1 for 1 for the Eagles, but he missed an extra point. It is 9-7, Hood River Valley on top here in what has been a very entertaining so far Class AA State Championship football game.
Mark, can we estimate the crowd at this point?
We have a difficult time from our vantage point, which is an overhanging press box at the edge of the roof here at Civic Stadium, because the crowd is basically below our feet. We were expecting today a crowd of about 8,000, including 3,000 in Riverites and 3,000 in St. Helens to take this one in. And here we go back on the field. 34 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Second down. They officially spotted the ball at the 19-yard line. As Jeffrey brings them up, 11 to go for a first down. Running out of clock here in the second quarter. Pass complete to Merwin, left sideline. He'll just step out of bounds at the 12-yard line as Ryan Frazier was closing in. And a good little St. pattern there for the Lions, Cal.
Absolutely, Mark. It looks to me like we're now at 3rd and 11, and the ball's on the 19-yard line, and we'll be able to see now what's going to happen. I think it's coming down to push and shove, Mark.
The ball spotted, the nose of it just remaining on the 12. It is inside the 12, so officially the 11. Third down and a long 3 yards to go. 29 seconds to go in the second quarter. Split back behind Jeffrey, Pence, and Holt. Jeffrey turn, handoff up the middle. Good hole for Holt. He'll be knocked down at the 5-yard line. Ryan Frazier knocked him down for the Eagles, and the Lions will use their last time out with 23 seconds to go after a pickup of 7 for John Holt. And that was a big carry. First down and goal from the 5-yard line with 23 seconds to go here In the first half, it is 9-7 Eagles. The Lions are knocking on the door. Figure with no timeouts left, Cal, that one play, maybe two more for the St. Helens Lions to take a shot at the touchdown.
23 seconds left. A couple of plays are possible. And we know they can kick the ball this far, Mark, because we've seen them do it.
From in close here, it would figure to be Kelly Jeffrey to try the field goal. Jeffrey tries the extra points. Dosley tries the longer field goals for St. Helens. As the Eagle defense awaits the 34, including a quartet of linebackers that would receive a lot of attention if it was not for Kerry McGonigal and Mike Harp and company on the offensive end of the football for the Eagles. But that quartet may be the key to the playoff run for Hood River Valley. Here we go at 23 seconds to go in the second quarter. First and goal from the 5-yard line. Dual receivers near side for Kelly Jeffrey, the quarterback for St. Helens. Jeffrey, a bit of a long count, maybe move on the line, hand out the middle, fumble at the 4-yard line, and Nuno has it. Bolt lost it going through the line, and Rodolfo Nuno for the Eagles has recovered, and Hood River turns them away on a big stand in the end part of the first half.
What a disappointment for St. Helens, Mark. They must be heartbroken. And now Hood River is going to take over, it looks like, right on about the 4.5-yard line. And with only 18 seconds left, they at least were able to stop a scoring threat that was right down the throat.
Clock starts again. The Eagles will probably let it run from down here, and they'll take a 9-7 lead, it appears, into the locker room as John Holt's fumble is recovered by Rodolfo Nuno, and that will end the first half of play. So a very entertaining half, one with 5 turnovers, 3 for St. Helens, 2 for the Eagles. A couple of them resulted in scores. 9-7 Hood River. We'll be back with our halftime activities in 2 minutes. Back at Portland Civic Stadium, Mark Bailey along with Cal Kemper today, filling in for Jay Lynch as it is 9-7 Eagles. And Cal, you'd have to say the Eagles might be fortunate to be up 2 points, but at the same time, you might also have to think that maybe the Lions are fortunate to be down only 2 points because turnovers have played such a big part of this football game for both sides, and penalties have played a big factor in this game.
Well, Mark, both teams seem to be following the offensive sorts of sets and the types of game that we expected from them. But turnovers seem to be interrupting the flow of things. Just when each team seems to be getting it going, a turnover results. And honestly, we could say, I think that Hood River is lucky to be up 9-7 at this point because it could be just the other way around almost as easily.
However, we can definitely say it has been a close football game so far between these two teams. They match each other mistake for mistake, you might say. Eagles offensively seem to dominate. St. Helens maybe with their best drive so far at the end, but that might be a big fumble coming down the stretch by Holt as Rodolfo Nuno scooped it up inside the 5-yard line of Hood River as the Lions are trying to score just before the end of the half and take the lead into the locker room. But instead, it is the Hood River Valley Eagles looking for that perfect season on top 9-7 over the St. Helens Lions. We'll be back here from Portland Civic Stadium in 2 minutes. Back in Portland Civic Stadium, Mark Bailey along with Cal Kemper. It is 9-7 the Eagles. We are going to get the statistics here at halftime in just a moment. In fact, they are just on their way down the stairway, so we will take a look at them right now. We will begin look at the first downs. Eagles 7, St. Helens 6. The rushing yardage, the Lions have 152, the Eagles 29. Not real surprising there, except the Eagles you might expect to have a few more yards. However, 136 yards passing for the Eagles, 16 for the Lions, so that makes the total 168 to 165 for the Lions, so about as even as we figured it would be. And you expect the Lions to have the upper hand rushing and the Eagles to have the upper hand throwing the football here today. Looking at some of the overall leaders, Keith Pence has 9 carries for 82 yards, a 56-yard touchdown being the key one for him. Also, John Holt has 35 yards and 7 carries. Kelly Jeffrey 4 for 26. Eagles have Joe Josephson with 7 carries for 37 yards, and Mitch Sanders 3 carries for 12 yards. And that adds up in my mind to 49, not the 29 they have on top. Of course, we also have to figure in sacks of Kerry McGonigal, so that I would believe that would bring back down the totals. McGonigal is 7 of 13 for 136 yards, has not thrown a touchdown yet today. So we've been talking about McGonigal not being on, but in reality, those are very good figures.
They look really good, Mark, and you know, maybe the comment earlier that the Eagles are lucky to be up 9-7 might have been a little overstated.
Mike Mahurin, the leading receiver today, 4 for 77 yards. He has a catch of 36. had one wiped out. Ryan Inslee has a catch today for 37 yards, but that one resulting in disaster as a fumble that led to Pence's touchdown. In fact, the very next play, Pence a 56-yard run. That play was very controversial. Eagle bench down below thought that Inslee was already down. It had hit the carpet, and the carpet caused the fumble. Of course, that cannot occur, but the crew from the Portland Officials Association decided otherwise. Punting, Eric Olson one time for 44 yards. For St. Hood River, Terry McGonigal 3 times for 87, a 29-yard average, a 41-yard long punt. Then, of course, the 9-yarder in the second quarter that was almost instrumental in setting a field goal attempt for St. Helens. In fact, it did set the attempt, but it was missed a little bit short on the attempt by kicker Troy Dosley.
Mark,
We're waiting
we
to
talked
return
about
both teams on the field here.
Mark, as we look toward the possession time, it certainly rings true. I think, as we talked earlier before the game, if the Eagles could have the ball for longer than 20 minutes, we thought that they had a really good chance of pulling off a win here today. And with 14:47 Eagles possession time and St. Helens at 9 minutes and 13 seconds, it looks like they really should have been ahead at this point.
Well, to be very honest, I don't think as down below us the Eagles return onto the field that the St. Helens Lions can win if the Hood River Valley Eagles win the time of possession. I just do not think that it is possible to do so. 9-7, Eagles are on top of St. Helens. We'll be back for the second half of action. We return after this 1-minute timeout. Mark Bailey along with Cal Kemper, and one of these teams will have their first ever state Class AA championship in 24 minutes. Unless we end up in a tie, we should note that there is no overtime in the championship games. It would be a co-championship. The last time that happened, I believe, was 1981. I have to look back in the record book, but I think that was the last time in Class AA that occurred. A co-championship. They did not play overtime, the state title, so they would split the trophy. Neither team, again, has ever won a title. Hood River High School, the old one, the Blue Dragons, back in 1964, played for the state Class AA title against Vale. Vale came out on top. And in 1954, St. Helens played for the title against Vale, and Vale took home the trophy. And looking back at the Class AA record book, it was 1981, the last co-championship, a scoreless tie between Siuslaw and South Umpqua. Here it is 9-7. An interesting note out of the statistics that we didn't mention in our last segment, and that is Mike Harp has not caught the football yet.
We haven't seen any passes completed to Mike Harp.
In fact, I don't recall even a ball thrown to him. Mike Mahurin has received most of the work. Mahurin has been working most of the evening on his opposite number 11, Jeff Merwin. And he has been winning the battle of quiet beating, though Merwin made a great play that ended up setting up the field goal for the Eagles, but denied the Eagles a touchdown when he was able to knock down a pass that Mahurin, it appeared, had a beat on in the corner of the end zone, and that would put the Eagles on top by the one touchdown instead of the mere 2 points that they are here at this point in the football game. So 24 minutes to go, 9-7. The Eagles are on top, and this Hood River Valley squad has won 12 straight football games. The Lions, an equally impressive record of 11-1 coming into here. An outstanding season for both teams, regardless of what happens here. There were 57 other teams that tried to get into this position in the state championship game. And only 2 can make it. The Eagles and the Lions were able to do so.
A 16 team cadre started the playoffs, Mark. And here we are down to St. Helens and Hood River. I guess it's kind of fitting that St. Helens and Hood River should be here. They both at one time or another have been rated tops in the conference, in their conferences.
The Lions from week 4 to 7 were on top. Then they lost to Scappoose, and the Eagles took over from there and held it for the last 3 issuances of the state Class AA football poll. But that doesn't matter now. 24 more minutes will decide the Class AA State Football Championship. We're glad you're along with us, especially in the Hood River area live on the radio. There aren't many left, I don't think.
I think most of them are down here.
And if they aren't down here, well, we're glad they're listening to us here on this rainy Saturday. Maybe they got the better of the deal, being able to sit at home warm. They might be at work making money and staying warm, and that's always pretty good as well.
And come Monday evening, you can watch the game live on, not live, but by tape delay on Falcon Cable.
That's right.
Channel 5.
It'll be on at 7 o'clock, we understand. As the good folks down there really had to scramble to put that together. In fact, I didn't learn until 11 o'clock yesterday morning. This is before the Eagles left on their trip to May Street School and then to Portland for the state playoffs. And that trip to May Street School, hopefully we'll get a chance before we leave today to talk about that. But that was quite an event.
That was terrific.
I was glad to be able to be there. That was an amazing, amazing parade the Eagles made through the halls of May Street School, through all those school kids who had made posters for their high school heroes. And it really was an exciting moment. A good time was had by all. Ed Drew presenting the principal there with a football autographed by all of the 1989 Hood River Valley Eagles. And that really, I think, maybe even loosened up the Eagles a little bit. Let them know, hey, this is a good time here. But we are back to football. St. Helens back deep. It is Ian McKay to the near side and John Holt to the far side. As we're about ready to go, Jared Swires being handed the football right now to place on the tee. The Eagles will go from right to left here. The Lions left to right in the second half from Portland Civic Stadium.
Bailey, it's cold out here.
Yes, it is. No question about it. We're even here in the booth. Of course, we got a window open, so.
It is chilly down there on the field, and as Mark and I told you earlier, we did have a sprinkle of rain. However, right now, I don't see any coming down, even though we do have a little gust of breeze coming across that's rippling the flag. But other than that, it's pretty still.
Believe it or not, with the exception of the rain, it's actually better than it was yesterday for the Eagles practice.
The Eagles did come down and practice at the same time that they're playing today.
Yes, they did. Ed Drew bringing the troops down here last night, and we get to experience a classic Portland traffic jam getting to the band field. Swires' kick is off, and we are back underway. And Pence hits the ball, bounce off his shoulder pad, but scooped up by McKay at the 27, up to the 30, works his way through the return team, and does a good job to get over the 35-yard line. So Ian McKay right there to scoop at the ball after Pence had the ball bounce right off his shoulder pads, and the Lions start out in good possession at the 37-yard line of St. Helens.
Both teams have had good field position, Mark.
Yes, they have, actually, throughout the evening, as the ball just bounced right off Pence's left shoulder pad. But McKay, who was moving in to block in front of him, was able to scoop it up off the AstroTurf. That would have been a little bit more trouble on natural grass, but the true hop off the carpet was beneficial to McKay. Handoff goes to Pence, and Pence will get up near the 40-yard line. So a pickup of 3 for Pence, who earlier in the year had some injury problems, but is back now during the playoff run for the St. Helens Lions. A very dangerous trio, Pence, Holt, and Jeffrey. And also pretty good backing up Pence and Holt and Ian McKay. They're all seniors. It's a senior baseball club for the St. Helens Lions. Receivers each side this time. Kelly Jeffrey under center on 2nd and 7 from their own 40-yard line. Jeffrey turn, he's going to pitch it. It is going to be Holt, led by Pence. Holt up to the 45-yard line, over the 50, knocked out of bounds in the near side at the 48 of Hood River. So the Lions pick up 12 on the carry by John Holt.
Beautiful run by John Holt. He was able to get around the corner and out of bounds, if I read it right, Mark, right at the 48. That's
where they're going to mark. Right now they're going to mark it just over the 48, so officially the 47 on the 13-yard pickup. Making the stop finally for the Hood River Valley Eagles, I believe it was Mitch Sanders that came over and knocked him out of bounds.
Eagles had a hard time bringing him down.
Split back, dual receivers near side for the St. Helens Lions and Kelly Jeffrey. Jeffrey fakes the handoff, then goes up himself, and is grabbed by the shirt tail as he gets to the 40-yard line. I think it was Mitch Sanders who just grabbed him by the shirt around the shoulder pads. You can see the fabric move away from the pads, and Sanders makes the play. However, for Jeffrey, it is going to be a pickup of about 7. And there Sanders is just pulling him to the ground, literally, as Jeffrey drug Sanders as far as he could before he went down. Mitch Sanders, of course, is the big guy, the junior inside linebacker. 2nd down and a less than 2-yard situation from the 39-yard line of the Eagles. Lions driving here, first possession of the second half. Handoff up the middle. That is Keith Pence, and he will be down around first down yardage. It will depend on the spot getting up from the bottom of the pile. Rodolfo Nuno, along with Les Perkins for the Eagles, and they are going to bring out the chains and have a look. No, they're going to call it first down. It is a first down, the pickup of 2 by Keith Pence, and the Lions driving well here early on the ground.
And Mark, as you mentioned earlier, Keith Pence was injured earlier in the season, and if my memory serves me right, I think he missed about 3 games before he got back in, but he is their power back.
John Holt has missed some time this year. at a running back spot as well for the St. Helens line. In fact, Pence would normally be an inside linebacker, but his brother Mike has taken over there after the broken foot. Jeffrey hands off right up the middle, and this will be John Holt. Holt works his way over the 35-yard line to a swarm of Hood River Valley Eagles, and getting off the pile last, it is Mike Hart.
This is the option game is no surprise to the Eagles. They've expected this from St. Helens. And even though they're expecting it, though, Mark, it does look like the Lions are able to move the ball.
Second down and 7 to 34. 9:25 to go in the third quarter. Eagles on top 9-7, but that lead in jeopardy right now. Eagles in the 3-4 defense against the Lions. Veer option. Jeffrey's going to come to the near side on the option. Cut by one man. This is going to be wrapped up by Sanders until he can get some help. Andy Beam, Shane Losey down there. One more man at the bottom of the pile. Will pick him up as they get up, and it's Chris Girton. So Jeffrey ends up picking up 3 out to the 31-yard line. It's going to be third down and 4 yards to go as Jeffrey was going to get some good yardage turning up the option, but after Losey got a hand on him, Mitch Sanders was able to slow him down enough that when he got away, help had arrived to bring down Jeffrey. Third down, a long 3 from where it is marked just over the 31 of Hood River. 2 receivers to the top for the St. Helens Lions. Put back behind quarterback Jeffrey. Jeffrey on the option. He's going to pitch it to Holt. And Holt is wrapped up by Losey, but gets away, and then it is Losey still dragging him down. Frazier and Losey came up from the secondary and was able to break up the play. And it's a loss for the Lions of a yard. It's going to be fourth down and a long 4 to go from the 31-yard line of St. Helens, and the Lions are going to punt here.
Great pursuit by Shane Losey, bringing him down.
Eric Olson, his one punt of 44 yards back deep. A single man back, Shane Losey for the Eagles, and he'll go for the corner as you would expect from here. Losey will watch hit the 8 and bounces right to Mike Harp at the 5, so Harp will just take it straight up the field to the 10-yard line. Harp will return a 5 after the punt of 26 with an effective 26-yard punt for Olson. The Eagles will be back deep. Harp wasn't going to grab that, but was right to him, so he really had no choice, and then just turned it up the field and returned it for 5.
Yeah, at first it looked like kind of a daring play, but it was right in his lap. He didn't really have much choice, Mark.
It might have been more daring to try to get away from that football. He might have been better off with his sure hands as a wide receiver just to grab the ball and then just turn straight up the field for all he could get. That was going to be inside the 5. It did not look like it would bounce into the end zone. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. 7:44 to go third quarter. Eagles first possession of the second half. McGonigal handoff Josephson. Off left tackle. Not much there. Trying to slip away from a tackler. Does so. And will end up picking up 2 or 3. Finally brought down on the play by Jeff Merwin. And also down there, it was Troy Dozler for the St. Helens Lions. A pickup of 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7 at the 13-yard line.
Jeff Merwin's name we've called several times tonight, Mark. He seems to be right around the ball most of the time.
He's had a real battle much of the evening with Mike Mahurin. Mahurin with 4 catches so far. Don't forget, Mike Harp hasn't caught one yet here tonight.
McGonigal seems to be looking just to Mahurin so far, and I don't think he's even thrown a ball another direction.
That matchup again, this time is the near side. Dual receivers far side. McGonigal drops the throw. He's got some time. He's going to go deeper. Mike Mahurin working on Merwin. He has it. The 45-50. There's a flag down. Probably interference on someone. Knocked out of bounds on the play at the 47-yard line by Eric Thorson into St. Helens territory. Let's see the flag. It's in front of the Hood River bench.
And that one could go either way, Mark, because there was a lot of pushing and shoving going on.
It's a gain of 30 if it stands, and the Eagles are coming like it is going to stand. And pass interference on Mahurin. And it is coming up on the replay. Let's see, and he may well have. We really didn't get a good shot of it.
There was a push-off there, Mark. I think Mahurin did push the defensive man.
So it appears to be a good call by the Portland Officials Association crew.
Good job on the cameras there, guys.
Second time this game that Mike Mahurin has had a long pass reception nullified by a penalty, this time his own. Remember, earlier in the football game, a holding call knocked out the first play from offense for the Eagles when McGonigal went deep to Mahurin. And much like the last time, the Eagles are backed up deep. It is second down and 15. The ball at the 5-yard line. Down marker says third down, but if I remember correctly, it is second down. Receiver to the near side, to far side, handoff on the drop play. Josephson gets by him at the line of scrimmage and spins by another before getting over the 10-yard line down to the 11.
Is it possible it was a loss of down, Mark?
Offensive pass interference. Yeah, in fact, that would be a loss of down. Thanks for correcting me, Cal. Fourth down and 9 at the 11-yard line. So McGonigal will go back to punt for the Hood River Valley Eagles. And St. Helens again will have good field position. McGonigal's last punt was a 9-yarder that went off the side of his foot back in the first half. 6:25 to go and counting the third quarter. High snap, and he's able to come down with it. And McGonigal will get the kick away, and that's a good punt. That will go over the head of the return man. Going back to get her on the 50-yard line. Go to the left side, Thorson. Thorson, a flag flies, 45-40. Got open field, far sideline. Brought down the 25-yard line. Making the tackle for the Eagles, it was Chris Girton, I do believe. Let's hang on. That might be a clip on someone for St. Helens. The flag down on the far side around the 37-yard line.
Eric Thorson did a great job just being able to field that ball. Was able to get around the left side and got down to the 25-yard line. But it is a personal foul.
Going to be a clip as the punt went 39 yards. The return is going to be nullified. As the Eagles will take the penalty, this will put the Lions back in their own territory. 6:10 to go, third quarter. It is 9-7. St. Helens trailing by 2 to Hood River Valley in this state Class AA championship football game. The ball will end up at the 48 of the Lions, so again, good field position. They're winning the field position battle early here and also taking control of time and possession. They ran off 4.5 minutes on their first drive. Remember, the Eagles, by 5 minutes, held the ball over St. Helens in the first half. And there's just no way in the world the Lions really can stay with the Eagles if they do not control the football for large amounts of time. Dual receivers near side. Jeffrey handoff up the middle. Working his way over the 50-yard line, it was John Holt. Wrapped up by the Eagle lineman. Andy Beam was down there. Also Rodolfo Nuno, one of the linebackers. And Larry Foster was in the vicinity.
And for those just tuning in or just getting caught up on the statistics, Holt is a 1,000-yard rusher this year for St. Helens.
He went over that here in this football game. Third down and 6. The ball at the 48-yard line. Second down and 6. Correction. 5:42 to go here in the third quarter. Dual receivers to the near side. Split back behind Kelly Jeffrey. Jeffrey going to turn, drop back, look to throw. Under a little bit of pressure. They're going to get him. It was Les Perkins that sacked him inside the 45-yard line.
Markey ran out of time.
Jeffrey a little slow to get up and shaking out the cobwebs as Perkins came through. Jeffrey turned. Looked like he'd play action, but didn't have a back there, and Perkins beat his man on the line. Perkins beat Aaron Stockwell, the center. Perkins has about 30 pounds on him. Perkins at 200, Stockwell 165, and Perkins won the battle there. And a big loss on the play, marks the 44-yard line, third down, and 14 yards to go for the St. Helens Lions. Dual receivers to the near side. Jeffrey is going to look to throw once again. Has some time now. He's going to tuck it under over the middle. 50-yard line. He's going to get the first down to the 40, 35. Big hole, 30. He's going to go all the way. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Lions. No flags. And the Lions are on top 13-9. As Kelly Jeffrey could not find anyone open. And he went 56 yards for the touchdown. And the Lions take the lead 13-9, and Cal Kemper, again, the big play hurts the Eagles.
Jeffrey was able to get loose. He couldn't find anyone open downfield and started in to run. It did appear, though, Mark, like Eagles could have caught him. It just worked out where he was able to break away, and it was a long, long touchdown.
Out of the hold of Eric Olson, Jeffrey will try the extra point, and it is going to be a short kick and no good. Wide to the right. So each team now with one extra point apiece missed. 4:42 to go, third quarter, 13-9. Lions on top of the Eagles. We'll be back in 60 seconds. There's Jeffrey, had plenty of time, and then tucked it under. John Vaught dove and couldn't get him. Then when he got through the secondary, Harp and Losey almost collided. It looked like they held up a little bit, and Jeffrey took it on in. 56 yards, 13-9.
Jeffrey had a little breakaway speed there, Mark. It was surprising he was able to get going so quickly. He did run, though, for 600 yards this year.
.442 to go in the third quarter. Jeffrey's 56-yard run on the scramble has made it 13-9. Hood River, St. Helens rather, over Hood River. Kickoff goes down to short to the 32-yard line, taken by Rowan in the middle. 35-yard line, bumps into his own man over the 40-yard line. Eagles will start in good field position out at the 42-yard line, their own, with 4:36 to go in the third quarter. It has been plays of over 50 yards for the St. Helens Lions touchdowns. 55 for Pence, 56 for Jeffrey.
Mark, how do the lines compare weight-wise?
About even. the lines really here are even today. Eagles maybe with a slight weight advantage, but not enough to be significant except in that Stockwell-Perkins matchup when the Lions are on offense. Then Perkins has that 35-pound advantage, and that's what may have resulted in the sack of Jeffrey on the play before the touchdown. McGonigal drops back looking to throw on first down. He'll look over the middle. Guess who? Mike Mahern. First down into St. Helens territory.
We've called that one before, haven't we, Mark?
Mike Mahern is having a career football game here today, folks. Catch number 5 on the football game. And he, again, did a good job to haul down a high Kerry McGonigal pass. That was a pickup of 18. First down and 10 Eagles. They had the ball at the Lion 40, trying to retake the lead. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Mike Harp has not caught a pass today. He is the receiver to the far side. Irwin and Mahern to the near side. McGonigal drops. He's got plenty of time. He's got Mahern again at the 15, down at the 10.
A beautiful catch. A beautiful catch.
Mike Mahern did not receive an award like Mike Harp or Kerry McGonigal yesterday. Mike Mahern is still a terrific receiver. Pick up a 30, first down and 10 at the 10. Have to wait when they stretch the chains to see if they can still have a first down. McGonigal threw a terrific pass there between 2 Lion defenders. The Eagles could pick up a first down without scoring. They are officially at the 10-yard line, but if they got inside the 1, they could pick up a first down.
Mahurin's getting a rest. He's on the sideline.
Full house tees. Zorza, Sanders, Losi left to right in the backfield. Handoff fakes it. Sanders goes to Losi, who slips at the 7-yard line, but he's going to be brought down near there anyway as Jeff Merwin was coming up to make the stop.
Down around that part of the field, there are a lot of inserts in the carpet, Mark, and its footing is a little treacherous.
However, on that one, Losi, I believe that was more the wetness that's down the turf after the couple of light rains that we've had during the course of this football game, and he's just simply lost the footing from under him. They'll come T again, but this time Losi left, Sanders middle, and Zorza to the right. Mike Mahern back in the game, receiver to the near side. Tight end guy Rowan to the right. McGonigal's going to keep it himself, tuck it under. There's nothing there. McGonigal really stacked up on the play. Didn't appear that he got anything. Trying to go over right tackle. So an interesting situation here on 3rd down and 7 at the 7, but they don't need the touchdown. They can come up a little short and get a new set of downs.
St. Helens defense closed the hole, Mark. It just wasn't any place to go.
Lions have really done a good job on defense against the run. Eagles back to the 1 back. Josephson into the football game. Mahern with the 6 catches so far today. Receiver near side. Losi and Harp to the far side. McGonigal might have changed the play at the line as he looked very directly both ways. Pump fake once, go for Mahern in the corner against Merwin, and Merwin makes a terrific play in front of Mahern to tip it.
Merwin Mahern seems to have a catch to it. In this case, not a catch.
McGonigal tried to loop it up there, but Merwin really held good position, and for the second time denies Mahern in the end zone in this football game. So Jared Swires is going to try the field goal, and the Eagles will try to get within 1 with 2:05 to go in the football game out of the hold of Mike Mahern. This will be an attempt of 22 yards for Jared Swires. Low snap, Mahern does a good job to get it down, and Swires' kick is on the way and good. So for the second time today, Jared Swires connects on a field goal, this time from 22. Last time was 23. 2:01 to go, third quarter. It is 13-12. The St. Helens Lions lead the Hood River Valley Eagles. We've got a good one. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Back here at Civic Stadium, 13-12. The Lions within 1 of the Hood River Valley Eagles. And Cal, I was really kind of surprised there that they went to the full house tee so far out at the 10-yard line.
Well, I was too, Mark. You know, and I keep wondering to myself why it is that Kerry McGonigal seems to have radar only for Mike Mahern. Apparently, he's looking for him tonight.
Well, you figure Mike Harp's going to be covered very well in this football game. And really, it has worked that way this season. Mike Harp will have a big game. Then Mike Mahern will have a big game. Then maybe Shane Losi does. Harp and Mahern especially. Harp, of course, has had perhaps a few more big games. but it's always seemed to be one guy. And it has to do with the fact that you can only double cover so many before you run out of defensive backs. I think that's what's happened. Jared Swires ready to kick off the football. 2 men back deep. McKay and Holt for St. Helens, but it's up to an up man at the 30-yard line. Now be brought down to 33, and quickly moving down there was the Eagles, making the stop, John Vaught, and making the reception of the kickoff for the Lions. It was Ryan Rittenauer. So the Lions, with 1:58 to go in the third quarter, retake the football in pretty good field position. They will be just short of their own 34-yard line.
Mark, this has the makings of turning into a nail-biter if we keep going back and forth this way.
I do believe it already is a nail-biter. Glad everybody could be along with us on radio and television here today. Split backs behind Kelly Jeffrey, the quarterback. Receivers each side. Jeff Merwin against Mike Mahurin to the near side. They can't get rid of each other. Handoff up the middle. This is Keith Pence, and he'll work his way out near the 38-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 5, depending on the spot of the football, and that's what it's going to be. Just short of the 38-yard line. Second down and 5 upcoming.
Mark, we've seen a few slips out here on the rug today, and the last time I was in Civic Stadium was in 1964, and we watched Grants Pass play to the championship win in AAA. In ankle-deep mud, it reminded me of Tillamook.
Receivers each side now into the football game for St. Helens. Brian Parrott, he's the receiver near side. Handoff up the middle, John Holt, and Holt will work near a first down, it appears. Depends on where they mark the knee down, and from where they're spotting it, it is going to be short by about a yard, a little short of the 43-yard line. In fact, make it right on the 42 of St. Helens. It'll be third down and a long one to go. The Lions have to get over the 43-yard line. 45 seconds to go and counting here in the third quarter. It is 13-12 Lions. Eagles just receiving a field goal from Jared Swires to answer a big 56-yard TD run by Kelly Jeffrey of St. Helens. Split back behind Jeffrey, and he'll hand off to Pence, and it looks like he got the first down short of the 45-yard line. Well, we have a chance. Let's take 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Oregon State Class AA Football Championship. It was a pickup of 2 for the St. Helens Lions, and it will be first down and 10 at the Lion 44-yard line. In what will probably be, if they get it off with 12 seconds to go, the last play of the third quarter. Dual receivers near side, split backs again behind Jeffrey. Jeffrey takes a long time, and then he'll fake the handoff and try to run the option, but he's wrapped up behind the line at the 40. It was Andy Beam ending the third quarter with a loss of 4 against the St. Helens Lions. 13-12, Lions going to the fourth quarter. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Great play.
Yeah, it was.
Andy Bean breaking through, getting him by the shirt tail.
Jeffrey never really had a chance to start up the option there. So 12 more minutes to go here in Civic Stadium, and it is 13-12. The St. Helens Lions leading the Hood River Valley Eagles on a at times rainy day in Portland, Oregon. It may be just past 4 in the afternoon on this Saturday, but with the lights on, it feels like a night game.
It certainly does, and with the temperature, it feels like a night game, Mark.
Feels like a CFL game. Canadian Football League.
Need to have our parkas on up here.
Yes, we do, and the gloves. Actually, I've got in my bag, but for some reason I don't want to take them out.
Really?
We're 12 minutes from a AA champion, 13-12. St. Helens over Hood River Valley. Eagles entered unbeaten. Lions lost only once in 12 games. Second down and 13 from the 41 after Beam's excellent play on Jeffrey on the option. Jeffrey fumbles the snap. It's loose, and the Eagles have the ball at the 40-yard line. Making the recovery for the Hood River Valley Eagles, Andy Beam, who made the play to end the third quarter. The fourth Lion turnover of this football game, and the Eagles have the football at the St. Helens 39-yard line with a chance to take the lead. Jeffrey never received the exchange from Aaron Stockwell.
Again, that cold weather, Mark, and a little dampness out there having an effect, along with the tension, of course, that goes with this kind of game.
Mike Mahurin, who's had the big day, a receiver near side. Mike Hart far side. McGonigal looking over the defense. Exaggerated call to one of the receivers. Might have changed the route somewhere. McGonigal drops back looking to throw. Carey's got some time. Over the middle. Mahurin can't make it. It's intercepted. Intercepted by the defensive back at the 40-yard line, Ian McKay. McGonigal led Mahurin too far, and McKay intercepts it, and that's 3 turnovers for the Eagles.
And Mark, let me ask again, do you think they're going too much to Mahurin? It would seem like
No, he was open. I think, well, maybe not as we look at the replay. It was overshot, and McKay made the interception playing center field. Mahurin, though, did have a step on his man. Properly thrown, and Carey's made so many of those this year. That's going to be a big gain. Instead, it's a turnover. 11:27 left. Split back behind Kelly Jeffrey. Receivers near side. Jeffrey handoff. This will be Holt up the middle, and Holt will pick up 2 or 3 out near the 43. Nuno, Foster, Sanders, and Mahurin all get up from the pile, and then from the bottom comes Mike Hart. It is going to be a thrilling finish here in Portland Civic Stadium today. Officially a gain of 2. Second down. It is a short 8 from the 42-yard line. Lions have to get near midfield. Split backs again behind Jeffrey. Hand up the middle, and Jeffrey pulled it away after a great play by Perkins, and the pitch out away from Holt. Mahurin now loses him, and finally Holt is knocked out of bounds by Mike Hart. Jeffrey, it looked like it'd be wrapped up by Perkins on the handoff to Holt, but he pulled it away from Holt, and Perkins had the wrong guy. And then he got away and pitched it wildly to the other running back, Keith Pence, and Pence chased it, got away from Mike Mahurin, and you know what, folks? No gain.
Same place.
Third down from the 42-yard line.
After all that.
Again along 7. Jeffrey drops back, pump fake once, over the middle, in and out of the hands of the tight end, Ryan Dotto. Jeffrey had him, might have thrown a bit behind the tight end.
Well, he did hit him in the hands, though, Mark, even though it was a bit behind.
So Dotto unable to hold on, and it's going to be 4th down, and the Lions will have to punt, but they have to feel good in this situation after the interception when the Eagles had the ball deep in their own territory. Olsen gets a low snap and able to hold on to it, and he'll aim it toward the far sideline. Watching about the 35 is Losey, and that will bounce out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So Olsen on the punt picked up 32 yards. With 10:31 to go, the Eagles will take over, down 1, 13-12. And Hood River Valley has been in this situation once in the playoffs. In fact, really only twice all year, rather. The Hermiston game as well, back in the second week of the year, which seems like an eternity when you think about it this season. And that was the Burns game. Remember that one? They were down 7-0 going in the 4th quarter, scored the touchdown to tie it, and then Jared Swires the field goal with no time remaining. Could we handle another finish like that? We'll see. Mahurin near side, isolated this time on Eric Olsen. McGonigal is going to hand off up the middle. This is Joe Josephson, and Josephson gets around the 30-yard line to pick up a 4, 2nd and 6. 10:20 to go, clock counting in this football game. Mark Bailey along with Cal Kemper, Jeff Skye back in our radio studios here on this Saturday late afternoon. A reminder on radio, Blazers in Denver will be on after our football game. We'll join courtside in progress after our post-game show here tonight from Portland Civic Stadium. Mike Hart to the near side, Irwin and Mahurin to the far side. Joseph still a single back, and McGonigal doesn't like what he sees. He calls timeout. We'll do the same. 9:55 to go. It is the St. Helens Lions 13, the Hood River Valley Eagles 12. We'll be back in 60 seconds. 9:55 to go as the Eagles come to the line, facing 2nd and 6 at their own 30, down 1, 13-12. Mike Mahurin near side, Brian Irwin, Mike Hart far side. McGonigal drops looking to throw. He's going to go to Mike Mahurin, wide open the middle, 40-yard line, brought down at the 45. 7 catches on the game for Mahurin, a gain of 15, 1st down. And a good play by Kerry McGonigal there. He pump faked to Josephson out in the flat, and that drew a defensive back away from Mike Mahurin. As it shows on the replay, McGonigal, the look was enough, and Mahurin was open, and Mike Mahurin, the senior, win or lose, is going out in real style.
And Mark, it was clear that the other receivers are well covered. That's why he's going to Mahurin.
Mahurin and Losey near side. Far side, Mike Hart. Kerry McGonigal drops back looking to throw. Plenty of time. He'll throw. He's got Losey slipping down. Did he catch it? No, it was bouncing off the carpet. Losey, the ball was a bit underthrown and could not keep his feet on the wet carpet here at Portland Civic Stadium, 2nd and 10.
Some of the Hood River fans were upset about that call, Mark, but it did look like he trapped it.
Eagles football tonight on KIHR, brought to you by Farmers Insurance in Hood River. Tony White and Bob Johnson for fast, fair, and friendly service. and by Papa Aldo's Pizza. Pizza at its moment of perfection. Bruce Burton, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, doesn't have much to do here. Watching the offense. Dual receivers near side. McGonigal drops again. Plenty of time now. Rashawn throws. Caught by Guy Rowan at the 45 of St. Helens. First down, Eagles. Rowan had to go to his knees to come up with that one. A 15-yard gain. 1st and 10 for Hood River. McGonigal getting good time now from the big dogs up front. And Rowan did a good job to slide down for that.
He had about a 4 or 5 second time lag there to work with, so good time and good efforts there by the Hood River offensive line.
Correction on the gain, it was 10 yards. 8:59 to go. Eagles down a point. Trips to the left side. McGonigal turn fake handoff. He's going to roll to right now. A little shovel pass to Shane Losey. Open field 35. 30 to the 25. He'll be brought down the 19-yard line. On the stop, Eric Thorson for the Lions. That's a gain at 26. First down, Eagles. And the fake took everybody away to the opposite side.
Beautiful fake by Kerry McGonigal.
And the Eagles are now really threatening to take the lead. The fake that Josephson drew everybody away, then the shovel to Losey, and Losey had plenty of open field and picked up 27 to the 18-yard line. First down and 10, 8:35 to go in the football game. 13 to 12, St. Helens again trips to the nearest left far side. Mahern and Hart hand off up the middle. Josephson, he'll get down to the 17-yard line. A pickup of 1, it'll be 2nd down and 9. Kerry McGonigal strolling over to find out the play call from Ed Drew on the sidelines. The Eagles have had trouble scoring inside the 20.
I think that has a lot to do with St. Helens' defense. They certainly are stopping the run and making it really difficult for the Eagles to do much but pass, Mark.
Wes Perkins, the center, leads them up to the line of scrimmage. Irwin and Mahern go out to the left side with Harp and a wing to the left. Josephson single back also set to the left. Rowan tight end right. McGonigal will roll out looking to throw. Kerry's got some room to rumble. Throw back across into some traffic and off the hands of Irwin. Incomplete, and it's going to be 3rd down. We talked about the Eagles having trouble, but how about the Lions just doing a good job defensively inside the 20. The Eagles have been there. I believe this is the 4th time they've come away with only 12 points, the 1 touchdown and 2 field goals.
Mark, how do we stand on turnovers? Do you have that in your head?
4-3. It is 4-3 in turnovers. St. Helens 4, Eagles 3. That's a lot for both teams.
And they've come at critical times. It isn't like they're just happening in the middle of the field.
7:47 to go. 3rd down and 9 from the 17 of St. Helens. McGonigal over center. Mahern and Losey near side. Mike Harp still without a catch far side. Fake handoff Josephson. McGonigal plenty of time. He's looking for Mike Harp in the corner of the end zone. Leap, and it is. Who's got it? Someone caught it. I think the Lions did the interception. Let's see. Still no signal. Touchback. Interception. Interception, Lions, in a crowd. Kelly Jeffrey, I think, came down with it. In fact, both Jeffrey and Merwin are pointing at each other like the other one has it. There were 3 Lions and Hart fighting for the ball when they finally came down, and that took forever, it seemed. McGonigal had plenty of time again. Put it up, and at the time, Hart was open. But then he and Merwin fought for it, and it bounced around in the pile, and finally Kelly Jeffrey got it, also in there for St. Helens. It was Ian McKay. So the Lions take over the 20. 4 turnovers each. 7:37 to go in the football game.
The Lions truly dodged a bullet on that one.
Receivers each side for the Lions. Jeffrey handoff up the middle. Pence, not much there, the 22-yard line. Foster and Sanders assisting on the tackle by John Vaught. 2nd down and 8. And the Eagle defense has played tremendously in this football game. Again. 7:19 to go in the 4th quarter and counting. Eagles still down a point. Turnovers again have played a big role. 4 apiece each side. Ed Drew must be standing on the sidelines wondering if it's going to happen to him again in a state title game, a close loss. Jeffrey handoff Holt, nothing there. Mitch Sanders, Andy Beam on the stop. 3rd down and 8 coming. In fact, they're going to mark him as having lost a yard. Back to the 21, 3rd and 9. I mentioned Ed Drew having lost state title games before, 83 and 84 in Idaho. His team's lost close games.
That was in the dome, too.
In the mini dome in Pocatello. Big play coming 3rd and 9 at the 21-yard line. Receiver to the near side is Jeff Merwin. One to the far side as well. Jeffrey looks, pump fake once. Under some pressure, gets away from Beam. He'll scramble. Mahern looking to bring him down, but Jeffrey gets the first down. Is able to cut by Mahern. And finally brought down by John Vaught. But it's a first down for the Lions, a pickup of 11 to the 32-yard line.
And And what a double threat Jeffrey is on offense and defense, making the interception and now making the run.
6:25 to go in the football game. 13-12 St. Helens. First down and 10 at the 32-yard line. Jeffrey brings them up. They'll come out of the wishbone this time with double tight ends. Keith Pence is the lead back, the fullback. A pair of halfbacks, McCain, Holt, handoff, Pence. Pence off the right side, and he'll get up around the 36 or 37-yard line. Off the bottom of the pile for the Eagles, it will be Mike Hart on the stop for Hood River Valley. A pickup of 5, 2nd and 5. 5:55 to go. Now the Lions working on the clock.
Pence was able to carry 2 or 3 of the Eagles with him and make a good game.
Eagles have 2 timeouts left. Again, wishbone formation, double tight ends. Jeffrey taking his time on the count. Handoff up the middle. Pence again. Bounces off a couple tacklers. Bounces away from Hart now. Picks up the first down near the 45-yard line. And a good, tough run by Keith Pence of St. Helens. A 5'7", 195 senior. And he's making some tough runs here in the late going as we have 5.5 minutes to go. The ball marks the 44-yard line of the St. Helens Lions. They lead by 1, 13-12 for the state championship in Class AA. Tight ends each side, wishbone behind Jeffrey. Once again, Jeffrey, handoff again, Pence, but Andy Beam wraps him up and finished off by Mahurin, Losey, and Rodolfo Nuno. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 as we near 5 minutes left in the football game.
Pence certainly puts his head down and just goes forward, and that time the Eagles were able to catch up with him and bring him down for no gain.
Timeout situation, Eagles with 2 left. The St. Helens Lions with 3. 4:50 to go and counting. St. Helens 13, Hood River 12. Wishbone behind Kelly Jeffrey. Again, double tight ends. Handoff goes to Holt. Holt won't find much on the right side. The pile continues to move toward the sideline. He's brought down over the 45, around the 47. Eagles have plenty of folks there. Mike Hart, Mike Mahurin, Chris Girton, Larry Foster, Andy Beam. That's half the defense walking away from that pile.
Lions continuing to work on the clock. We're down to 4:24 and counting in the 4th quarter.
Just short of the 46, gain of 2. 3rd down and a long 8 to go for St. Helens. 4:17 to go. This might be a big play in this football game here. Eagles need the football back. They remain in the wishbone with double tight ends. Handoff this time is going to go to Holt, left side, strung out. Gets by Hart, but brought down by Ryan Frazier, and it'll be short of a first down. Mark it at the 48-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down, or 4th down rather, and a long 2 to go. As Holt had the play strung out, but did a good job to pick up what he did when he got by Mike Hart.
Eric Olson.
Punt formation for the Lions. Frazier and Losey back deep. Olson takes the snap, kicks it away to the far side. Fair catch by Losey, dropped, but he's able to fall right back on it. Just over the 20-yard line.
Again, Mark, we're seeing the ball being really difficult to hold on to down there. I'm guessing it's about 35 degrees on the playing surface.
Well, it's last call for the Eagles. 3:34 left, 13-12 St. Helens. This place is going nuts all around. The ball is located at the 23 of Hood River. Mahurin to the near side. Mike Hart to the far side. The wingback near side is Shane Losey. Joe Joseph's in the single back. Eagles have 2 timeouts left as the clock has started. Down to 3:17. McGonigal drops, looking to throw. Plenty of time. He's got Mike Mahurin at the 40, and now his hands are caught again.
What a catch.
Taking it off the secondary man, Jeff Olson. Unbelievable. The 8th catch of the game for Mike Mahurin, and check the replay. That might have hit off of the shoulder pad of Olson. Mahurin juggled it. No, he did come down with it. He came down with it without the shoulder pad. First down after the gain of 20 at the 43. 3 minutes left. Hang on, everybody. Erwin Mahurin, far side. Hart near side. McGonigal drops back, looking to throw. Under pressure, hangs it up in the air for Mike Mahurin. Wide open at the 30-yard line. Knocked out of bounds at the 25.
Oh, he was wide open, Mark. There wasn't anyone within 10 yards of him.
2:47 left. If Mike Mahurin is not player of this football game, I will not believe it. McGonigal hit as he threw, but Mahurin was wide open.
What a catch.
Mike Mahurin picking up 32 yards on the reception from McGonigal.
The Lions must have missed a defensive assignment, Mark. He was just too wide open.
2:47 left. Trips to the far side. Hart, Lucy, and the MVP of this game if the Eagles win, Mahern. Pitch out right side, Joseph. Got some room, 20-yard line. Can't quite turn the corner as he is dropped on the play by Keith Pence. And a flag falls, and I think Joseph may have been a late hit. Eric Olson had come in. Let's see, this will be a big penalty if it's against the St. Helens Lions.
As you can see on the
We
replay.
await the call.
On the replay.
It's going to be a clip on Hood River.
Oh.
I just seen Olson got up after looking at the notebook, and I think Olson, the reason why he slid into Josephson was he was clipped, to be honest. So a big penalty against the Eagles, and penalties and turnovers have hurt them tonight. They go back to the 35. First down and 21 yards to go. The folks downstairs, the Eagle fans are right below us. They don't like it, but I didn't get a chance to look at the replay, Cal, but the way Olson slid in, I would think that was the call right there.
It looked that way over here, Mark.
Jared Swires warming up down below us. He hit from 45 in practice fairly consistently yesterday, but this is different. McGonigal drops back looking to throw. Under pressure, bounces away from a man. He rolls to the right. He's looking. He'll throw it away and almost intercepted. Almost picking it off was Ryan Rittenauer, the linebacker who comes in and passing down for St. Helens. It'll be second down and 21 yards from the 35-yard line, and McGonigal, and throwing it away almost, was intercepted. McGonigal was lucky to get away from the oncoming lineman. He bounced off one, then under pressure threw it again, and Rittenauer could not make the diving interception on the low throw. And we have an official's timeout as Kerry McGonigal ties his shoe with 2:17 left.
Well, Mark, a field goal would win the game.
It would give them the lead at least. Timeout situation, Lions 3, Eagles 2, but right now they're not really in position to do so. They would need 10 yards to consider it. That would make it a 42-yarder. The wind right now is blowing with it back to the Eagles, believe it or not. Mike Harp near side, Irwin and Mahern far side. Josephson the single back. Make that Sanders. McGonigal drops, looking. He's going deep for Mahern again. Overshot him, but he got it the 5-yard line. Unbelievable again.
What a catch.
It looked like Jeff Merwin would intercept it. With 2:08 left, a 31-yarder, first and goal, Eagles.
Going high in the air to bring that one down. What a great catch.
10 catches for Mike Mahern.
He just took it away, Mark.
Flat out, just out-jumped Merwin.
Well, that changes things.
Inside the 4 as Mahern comes out to a standing ovation. 2:01 left and counting. Full house tee, and timeout will be called by, I believe, the St. Helens Lions. We'll wait an official signal. We'll keep it here at timeout Lions.
Oh, Mark, I said nail-biting time?
Well,
this is incredible. What a
remember
finish.
Sayuslaw last year in the playoffs and the Eagles lost? Well, a lot of the same tension here.
Yes, it's just incredible.
13-12 St. Helens. Each team with 4 turnovers, each team with costly penalties, and here's the big play again. To Mike Mahern, who has played the best game of his career at the best possible time.
As you said, Mark, if he isn't the most valuable player, it'll be a real shame. It'll be a real disappointment.
Well, they don't actually select one, but if we do,
we
give it to him. And I know the newspaper does, in conjunction with a pizza parlor that's competing with our sponsor. So we can tell you that Mike Mahern will probably be the athlete of the week next week if the Eagles win and even if the Eagles lose. A tremendous performance. Mike Harp completely shut off, and Mike Mahern's got 10. Here they come to the line. 1:56 left. Full house tee, and now they're going to run the offset tee.
Everyone's on their feet.
Split back with Losi in front of one of them. Hand off Sanders, and he'll get up around the 1-yard line, inside the 2. Second and goal, and you look for the Lions probably again to call timeout. They will let the clock run. Inside the 2. May still be officially the 2. The nose of the ball just there. Second and goal, 90 seconds left. Again, the offset tee with Zorza and Losi stacked up, leading Sanders over the middle. He won't get there. He may have lost yardage. 3rd and goal. And McGonigal turns to look at the coaching staff.
The clock down to 1:15 to go and counting.
Neither team using timeouts here. Surprising the Lions don't with 2 left. You figure the Eagles from here, they're going to let it run. Here we go. 3rd and goal. Mahurin back in from the 2. 1 minute left. Full house team. Losey, Sanders, and Zorza. McGonigal's going to keep it himself on an option pitch to Losey, and Losey will be stopped at the 5 by Rittenauer and Olsen, and here comes Jared Swires, folks.
It's time.
It's Jared Swires' time with 40 seconds to go and counting. Well, he hasn't moved. It's a 1-point game. They may have let the clock run and call timeout. He's hit 1 field goal this year, and I'll tell you, I'm wondering if they're going to do it. They're not going to. Well, now Mike Harp's staying here at Drew, and they're going to call it. They're going to watch the clock and call a timeout. And then I wonder if they're going to try. Well, it's 4th down. They can't try and set him up. And they're going to bring him on, folks. It's on Jared Swires' shoulders again. Timeout, Eagles. 14 seconds left.
Ooh.
He's hit from 22 and 23. This one will be from the same distance, right hash mark.
Mark, we don't want to second guess Coach Drew, but they did run the play to the right, and that puts it on the right hash mark. That's going to be a little tighter angle to hit.
Well, what you were going to say was the option pass from Losey, almost certainly. But he has never had a chance. A great play by the secondary coming up for the Lions. And Jared Swires will try a 23-yard field goal with 14 seconds to go in the football game. St. Helens 13, Hood River 12. The Memorial Coliseum scoreboard showing us that we have gone just about as far as we can go. Everybody in this stadium is up on its feet. The Eagle bench down below us on their knees. Ed Drew and the Eagle huddle.
Mark, it's a real shame someone has to go away a loser.
Somehow now a coach championship. I don't like the non-overtime in this. Now I kind of like it. What a game it's been. Mahurin will hold. Noisy stadium. Snap down, kick on the way. It is good. Eagles lead.
Eagles lead.
Oh, this place just went berserk.
15-13.
Fans throwing white footballs. McGonigal and a lot of the Eagles upset. They need to quit that immediately, otherwise a flag will be thrown. Carey trying to direct the crowd. There it is. Right through. Never a doubt.
Remind you of anything?
Only that there's 11 ticks still on the clock. For the second time, it appears Jared Swires has kicked a field goal to give the Eagles a playoff win, and this one to be the title. 15-13 is 3rd of the game. This one from 23.
We're going to have to start calling Jared Swires Mr. Iceman, who comes through right at the end.
Oh, my goodness. If the Eagles win, we're going to have Keith Bassam, hopefully, on our postgame show. Unfortunately, we can't go down the field. Still 11 seconds. The Lions have 2 timeouts left.
A hard-fought game, Mark, all the way around.
Unbelievable. You couldn't think you'd see 2 like this in a postseason. For the Eagles, who for the first time this year will not get a TD pass from Kerry McGonigal in a football game, lead by 2, 15-13, in a wild, wacky, turnover-filled ball game. Swires still has the pack behind him, awaiting the whistle from the referee, Portland Officials Association, Jim Buchanan. Now he'll spread them out. Lions wary of an onside kick. They have the Mendy, McKay, and Holt, but I don't think it'll get that far. Swires foot to the ball. Onside kick coming. It's going to bounce, and the Eagles might come up with it. It's still loose on the pile. Let's see. Eagles just able. No, they didn't. The Lions got it with 11 seconds left, and they'll use a timeout. I'll tell you, the Eagles almost got that one.
That was close, Mark. They had a real good chance at it.
Eagle fans not happy. A conference among the officials down there.
I think the Eagle fans thought that an Eagle got it.
It was a pileup down there, and it does belong to St. Helens. They will take over the football with 11 seconds left. The clock didn't move, that's why, but there's not much time for the clock to start. Now a timeout goes to Hood River, and that's their last one with 11 seconds left, and Bruce Burton will have a chat with his defense. Lions have 2 timeouts left. They figure to get 2 plays in here. They will take over at their own 45.
Again, for those folks in St. Helens and in Hood River, they can watch the game coming up on their local cable system.
That's right. It'll be on in Hood River Monday night. Don't know about St. Helens. Obviously, if you're watching it on Monday night, you don't need to know that.
And if you're listening to it and not watching it, that means it's today.
That's too bad.
You really missed something.
You missed something. Kerry McGonigal pacing the sidelines. What a season it has been. 11 seconds from the realization of a dream. The clock just over 4:30 here in Portland as the St. Helens Lions come to the line.
Last call, as you said, Mark.
It's last call now for the Lions. The Eagles answered theirs. And Jeffrey is told by the official to return to the huddle. Receivers, Jeffrey will roll and look to throw. It is caught by Merwin. Merwin being chased to the sideline, out of bounds to 42, 5 seconds left. One more play upcoming.
We're down to a last gasp.
They'll mark it officially at the 44.
You know, Mark, neither team should feel embarrassed about their performance today.
A great game and a great season for both teams. Yes, this has been mistake-filled, but a lot of nervousness in this. 4 turnovers apiece. Mike Mahurin, 10 catches. Jared Swires, 3 field goals. Henson Jeffrey, big touchdown runs. And here we go. Olsen near side, Merwin far side, split backs. Jeffrey drops, looking to throw. Under some pressure, steps up, heaves it up toward the 10-yard line. Out of bounds. The Eagles win the championship. It is a mob scene downstairs. You can just listen to him for a moment. For the first time ever, the Hood River Valley Eagles are state champions. The St. Helens Lions, for the 3rd time in their school history, runners-up. But what a game it was.
The teams congratulating each other.
Couldn't have asked for a much better football game. They lined up on the field to shake hands.
It must be heartbreaking for the Lions.
It'll hurt for a day or two. But when they look back, it's been a great season. How close they came. But the Eagles, as they have done all year, the last drive they needed to make, they made it. They set up Swires for the 2nd time in the playoffs to win the football game on a 23-yard field goal. The Eagles now getting around each other at the 40-yard line around Ed Drew. You know, they were working out all summer on the weights, getting ready, learning the one-back offense. And now it's all come to fruition on a cold December night. Hood River Valley 15, St. Helens 13. Keith Bassam joins us in 1 minute. Downstairs, the Hood River Valley Eagles awaiting to receive their state championship trophy. If you are just joining us, you missed a great game. The St. Helens Lions now receiving the 2nd place award. Let's say runners-up, actually, not 2nd. It was a great, great season for them. Jared Swires, a 23-yard field goal with 14 seconds left. They now receive the big trophy. Les Perkins, Mike Hart receiving it. Eagles behind him. Keith Bassam has now joined me upstairs. And Keith, the culmination of a lot of hard work.
Hey, they messed with their fannies. I'm sorry, I got a little choke on it.
Well, it's quite a moment. Now the Eagles are surrounding Les Perkins, holding the trophy high. You know, Keith, it goes all the way back to the summer, doesn't it?
Yeah, they worked real hard this summer. They put together a whole brand new offense, and to come this far with a whole new offensive scheme, kids worked hard. Coach Drew and Coach Burton put umpteen thousand hours in, and this is the end result. This makes it all worthwhile.
Mike Mahern may have played the game of his career tonight. 10 catches, unbelievable.
Great. Last catch was great. He was just unconscious. That he was there when it counted.
And you wouldn't figure a sophomore played JV ball most of the year, would kick 2 game-winning field goals in the postseason, including the championship winner.
That was a sweet one. We were a little bit worried today because he's a little bit off left, and it showed in that first extra point. He got off left a little bit, and when it came to crunch time, that's the one that counted. Just did a dandy job.
And finally, the defense, underrated all year.
Hey, sweethearts, they just did it.
Well,
Boys put it together. They made some great adjustments the second half and snuffed them down, and you couldn't ask for a better job from the defense.
One other thing, the Lions on our screen next to us, they had a great game.
Oh, hey, they played tough. That's a good football team. They had 3 or 4 teams in that league that could have been in this spot tonight. And the Lions were well coached. West Bingham's done a hell of a job with the guys, and they deserve just as much praise.
Keith, you know you want to go downstairs, we'll let you go here. The Eagles
thanks.
have won the state championship.
That's
Keith
awesome.
Bassam, assistant coach. Awesome somehow doesn't quite strike it, you know. A very happy group here upstairs as the Eagles, well, they've won it, the state championship here tonight, 15-13. We'll get you the final statistics here before we go off. And Cal Kemper, we've just witnessed Ed Drew downstairs get dumped with a water bucket and being carried off. Did you ever think you'd see it in Hood River 3 years ago when he came? 25-7 now in his career. He lost 2 state title games in Idaho, and I'll tell you, I can tell from the look on his face, this is the happiest moment of his career by a long ways.